and a plea for that to continue. Kirby said the White House understands Zelensky's need for more weapons and aid and why he wants to get it as fast as he can. Kirby says the president's committed to helping to get Ukraine what it needs when it needs it. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
The middle of the country dealing with extreme cold temperatures and snow. ABC's Alex Stone says Denver is taking the brunt of this system.
In Denver, warming centers and shelters are open. Daytime temperatures in the city are in the negative numbers. The National Guard has been activated to help with bedding and feeding those who are in shelters. Denver Mayor Michael Hancock says the impact of the cold blast is made worse by the 1,300 or so migrants who have been bused to Denver recently with nowhere to stay in the cold. He says it's a humanitarian crisis and immigration reform is needed now.
I implore Congress and the administration to act and to act quickly.
Coloradans are being told to stay indoors during the extreme blast of cold. Alex Stone, ABC News.
On Wall Street, the Dow ended down 348 points, closing at 33,027. The S&P 500 dropped 56 points. NASDAQ lost 233 points. Right now, cloudy 43 at Radio City. Here's Fox 26's Alexis Govea with our Friday forecast.
Happy Friday Eve. I'm Alexis Govea from the Fox 26 Weather Center.
And with news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com, I'm Liz Kern, News Talk 580, 1059 KMJ.
Thank you, Liz. Good afternoon. On the roadways in Fresno right now on West Shaw at Garfield, we have an animal hazard being reported on northbound 41 at Shields. Large chunk of asphalt causing problems actually between Shields and Ashland northbound 41. Also, there's traffic backing up because of it. Next update is 217 Greg Lane, KMJ Traffic.
Hi, I'm Vanessa with PG&E. If you see a down power line, stay away from it and keep others away. Call 911. Let our first responders come out and handle it. Police and fire will respond as well as PG&E. To learn more, visit pge.com/safety.
Now, the Valley's Afternoon Drive with Philip Teresi. Philip Teresi. Your calls, your tweets, and your voice are welcome right now on News Talk 580 1059 KMJ.
It's 205. It's 205 at News Talk 580 1059 KMJ. Good afternoon and welcome to the Thursday installment of your afternoon drive. Phone numbers here are 490-5858. Toll free, you can join us at 800-776-5858. Find the show all over social media at Drive KMJ and watch it streaming live on YouTube, Facebook Live, or twitch.tv, also at Drive KMJ. Joshua Weekly is standing by to screen your calls this afternoon as I join Joe Basil back in the KMJ studios. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We had a nice little exchange for the premiere of mine and Lisa's new movie. Philip was classy and got me a nice bottle of wine, and I reciprocated by giving him a very mediocre cigar just now. So you're welcome.
I'm looking forward to trying this because I have seen these cigars that you smoke, and so I've got a funny feeling that your mediocre is probably my medium high end.
No, I've seen the cigars that you smoke. So that's why I was like, I'm warning you. This is this is bang for buck cigar. Like, yeah. You're like pretty good for what you're paying for.
Well, and I cigars, whiskey, pizza, lovemaking.
Oh.
Even all of them, there is something good to find in 95% of it. And then there's that little vestigial 5% where somebody just did everything wrong.
Yeah.
But that 5%'s really, really rare. And if you enjoyed this cigar, there's something here. Yeah. There's something to be enjoyed about it.
You mentioned two things together, which is funny because when I do premarital counseling for couples, if we do the sex talk, if they're 19, 20, and you might have heard this before, I said, okay, let's just talk about sex. I said sex is like pizza.
Yeah.
When it's good, it's really good. And when it's bad, it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm drawing from. Yeah. A very wise man named Peter Nazareti and used that exact turn of phrase. But I believe that when it's good, it's really, really good. And even when it's bad, it's actually still pretty okay, except when it's really not.
Yeah, because there are cigars that are actually not okay.
As there is pizza, as there is lovemaking, there is just there is a little slice somewhere in that Venn diagram where things don't work out.
Yeah, and speaking of good pizza, I believe there was an announcement today. I didn't get a chance to hear that.
Yes. Yeah, Ray announced his 99 craft pizza. So we got to try it yesterday.
Yeah, it was good.
If you guys haven't checked out 99 Craft Pizza yet, they did a sweet deal with us about a month ago. Of course, it's sold out. But I know they're going to get back into the rotation on that eventually. But they've been really generous with dropping off pies. And they brought stuff in. There's a video floating around of AJ from AJ in the Morning on Y101 and Naughty Roddy from Mega 97.9 in one of the studios, just burning through like half a pizza in like a 5-minute video. Like it's actually a little terrifying. And he's been really cool and really generous. Well, they created the Ray Appleton special. Thin sliced apples, bacon, cheese, seasoning on this kind of hot honey drizzle.
What was that cheese? It was a fancy cheese. I don't remember, but it was something high end.
Oh yeah. Well, I think part of it is he's using real mozzarella. This isn't the canned stuff like you get at the hot and ready joint. This is the actual cheese.
Is that a reference to our Santa Barbara story?
Yes, it is. And, which again, a perfect example of even when it's bad, it's actually still pretty good most of the time. But the Appleton pizza, the Ray Appleton special I think it's going on sale next week. I don't think you can get it today, but it doesn't hurt to call and ask.
Yeah, I'm sure nobody's not selling you stuff at Christmas time. They're not like, you know what? We'll sell it to you now. And by the way, what I thought was interesting, and I'm a butter guy. I like butter a lot. And you could taste the butter versus grease on the pizza. And I really liked that concept of that it's buttery. And weirdly, I don't know if you have this, but pizza and hot dogs I can eat so much of, and I don't know why. I can't do that with all food, but for some reason I could have ate that whole pizza yesterday. Like no problem. Not even thought about it.
Yeah, I've never had a problem tucking it away, but yeah, I agree. Pizza's a different thing because you can consume what should have been adequate food for 4 or 5 people just accidentally, just mindlessly go. And what he brought in, it was good pizza.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really, I'll give this to Fresno. Fresno does a good job with the dough. The dough, and I'm not a dough guy. I'm not that. I hate when people are like, oh, it's good dough. I'm like, who's eating pizza for dough? I'm eating it for cheese. I'm eating it for the toppings. But the dough was legit.
But that's the debate. Pizza and sandwiches. What's the more important part of the pizza? The crust or the topping?
I'm curious. What is it for you?
It is context dependent.
Okay. How did I not know I wasn't going to get a straight answer out of this? I could have done that too. Come on.
No, in all seriousness, the crust. Because if you've got good crust and you've got acceptable sauce and acceptable cheese, you've still got something that you are really going to enjoy.
Yeah.
If you've got a bad crust, if it's soggy, if it's flavored weird, if it's not done properly, there is no sauce and cheese that can make up for that.
Yeah, it's a really good point. I'm trying to think of if I've ever had a pizza. I will say the hot and ready's, what makes them good is the 1 minute out of the oven. What makes them bad is the crust anytime after that. So I'm with you. I guess I never really thought. I was never a crust guy, but you're right. If the crust were bad on my favorite pizzas or burnt, I hate burnt pizza. So some people like that. So burnt crust would actually ruin it for me. I'd say this isn't good. So maybe you're right. Maybe the delivery mechanism to the cheese to my mouth is more important than I'm giving it.
It's essential. It's the same rule as with a sandwich. If you don't have good bread, the sandwich is garbage.
I would not have agreed with you a week ago, but we keep getting these sandwich orders from a certain restaurant, and if they get the sourdough or the wheat, and believe it or not, the wheat is soft and fluffy, and the sourdough is firm and hard, and I only eat the wheat. It's the same sandwich.
Yeah.
But it's the wheat makes the difference.
Absolutely. And in this case, 99 Craft Pizza, they figured it out. He knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing, and the Appleton pie is it's different. Like if you're weary of trying new things, get a medium and then get a pepperoni to go with it.
Yeah,
you're not going to regret it, and you're not going to regret calling these guys and ordering from them because everything I've had from them, even because they've got all the normal pizza. You know, you want to get pepperoni, you want to get cheese, whatever. Hawaiian. They do all of that, and they do it very, very well. But they've also got their avant-garde, I don't know exactly what's on this, but it looks like apple slices and feta and, all that. Really well done.
And really understands what foods to mix. Like they really did, because they listed the ingredients and I go, these shouldn't go together. And that's when you know you're good. And I'll give you one more thing, because I'm a big service person. He was the nicest guy. Man, was he a nice guy.
Well, he was the owner of the joint, and he was dropping a pie off for Ray. Of course he was being nice.
He was being nice. But come on. We've had guys in the studios you'd think they'd be nice and they weren't.
That has happened, yes.
Yeah, no, he was very sweet.
So check him out, 99 Craft Pizza on 99craftpizza.com, 99craftpizza.com. If you want to order online, they're set up for that. Or 283-8915, 283-8915. It's not time for that. Yeah, what are you doing?
You've been on Christmas break since
I'm done.
Wednesday.
I'm out. I hate to say this because I care very much about producing a good product, but I've been mentally checked out all day. It's the week before Christmas. I'm taking time off to go hang out with my family, and I'm there. Okay. Switching gears, the other end of the Christmas time spectrum, the porch pirates are out in force, man. And I think, fortunate consequence of the march of technology here, we're getting better and better video.
Yeah, but better and better video, but still, are we getting the kind of video where we're actually able to prosecute video? I mean, okay, let me ask you this. When I see the video and we're like, look at, there he is or there she is, and they're like, oh, did you catch him? Like, no, we still can't catch him. Like, that actually pisses me off more. I'm like, we've got your face and we still can't do anything about it.
I think that part of that is because, look, the porch piracy thing is not in terms of police prioritization.
Yeah.
That some jerk stole some kid's Christmas present. It's not ranking up there with like murders and car thefts and arson. But all of these, not all of these, many of these do get resolved. And you know what resolves them? Somebody's going to go and they're going to look at this link that we're posting and they're going to see this guy and they're going to recognize the tattoo on his leg, or they're going to recognize the kind of distinctive all red getup he's wearing, or they're just going to see his face and they're going to know, oh, that's, so-and-so.
How rude was it that he dressed like kind of like Santa to steal presents? I thought that was a little bit of a insult to injury.
The other thing is they've got some great photos of the car.
And that made me think, okay, am I wrong? Am I seeing a handicap emblem on the plate? He ran like an Olympic athlete. I'm guessing that's not his car.
No, it's going to be his mom or his dad's car.
Yeah.
But it's a gray Volkswagen Jetta. It's got a handicap plate that starts with the handicap logo, and then it looks like the first letter's J and the last couple of numerals look like 447.
I got that too.
It's kind of a funky angle.
Yeah.
Dark tinted, like limo tinted back window. And go take a look. See if you recognize this guy, because you know how this guy's going to get caught. It's going to be the car.
Yeah.
It's going to be the outfit, or it's going to be somebody who like knows this dude, like an ex-girlfriend. And then you call Crime Stoppers.
Yeah.
And that's how these get resolved.
And he's not going to stop, by the way. This is not a one-off thing. This is happening.
You call Crime Stoppers, 498-STOP. You get really specific about the news article that you're talking about, what you saw, what you know, how you know who that is. And you get your little anonymous receipt. Because when you call Crime Stoppers, you don't have to give your identity. But if you lead to this cat getting busted, there's cash on the table.
I did not know that about Crime Stoppers.
And it's anonymous to get paid. They set you up with the whole account number and stuff. So you're like, you just roll up and get your money and go on about your business. So it's Christmas. This dirtbag is driving, I'm thinking, his mom's car. Because this is the kind of guy.
Or grandma's, which is.
This is the kind of guy who didn't have a father in his life. Nobody with a real man to show them what manhood is steals packages off of other people's porch at Christmas time.
At Christmas time.
It's his mom or his grandma's car. It's Christmas time. There is an ex-girlfriend. There is an ex-wife. There is some homie that he burned and pocketed a lighter. You know that this dude deserves to spend a weekend eating Nutriloaf. And you know that a couple extra bucks in your pocket for turning him in is going to mean a little bit better Christmas for you and yours.
That's why I smiled. I smiled at you because I'm like, it's one of his friends turning him in.
100%.
This isn't a good Samaritan. This is a buddy's like, wait, did you say there's money if I turn in this guy?
There is money on this.
I'm in.
498-STOP. We'll post the link so you can actually see the guy. And if you happen to recognize him or the car, call Crime Stoppers, 498-STOP. Let them know what you know, because the only way we are going to stop porch piracy is by making it way too dangerous for these fatherless clowns to go out and behave this way.
Yeah.
It's the afternoon drive at News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ. When we get back, earlier when I was talking with Ray, I mentioned that Kai the hatchet-wielding hitchhiker is back in the news. It's a weird one. Stick around.
Electric guitar, and then away went Rudolph, whizzing like a shooting star.
Starting things out in Del Rey, East Adams at South Del Rey Avenue. Injury accident just being reported. And northbound 41, starting at Shields through Ashland, between the two, there's a large chunk of asphalt in the slow lane. And now northbound 41 traffic is backed up because of it. So keep that in mind. Next update, 2:33. Greg Lane with KMJ Traffic.
This report is sponsored by In-N-Out Burger.
At In-N-Out, our hamburgers are made with the highest quality ingredients, made fresh and by hand, made with a smile, and made to order just for you.
As a California grower, you understand how essential water is to your crops. With Talatay by Valagro, you can increase crop water productivity. When applied to soil via irrigation, Talatay helps crops maximize water use by increasing the uptake of water and conserving water content inside plant tissue. Despite less than adequate water in the soil, crops can continue healthy growth and support high yields under water deficits. Visit valagrousa.com or call 559-287-7724 to learn more. Talatay, the value of every single drop.
So you tested positive for COVID. What's next? Treat yourself. COVID treatments like Paxlovid are free. Taken by pill, these medications can stop the illness from getting serious. So treat yourself. Call a healthcare provider or the statewide COVID hotline at 833-422-4255 to find free treatment today. Again, that's 833-422-4255. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
California's #1 selling RV dealer does it again. Best RV presents its annual RV show now through January 31st. Come in now and see hundreds of motorhomes, toy haulers, fifth wheels, travel trailers, tent trailers, as well as Class A, B, and C. The selection is endless at Best RV. Best RV has the lowest prices, free dealer prep, and no hidden fees. Financing available. It couldn't be a better time to get down to Best RV. Check them out at 5340 Taylor Court in Turlock or online at bestrv.com.
This is Helen with Solar Negotiators with a breaking solar industry news update. Extremely bad news coming out of California. NEM 3.0 is a new set of rules that will cut credit for solar systems on homes by up to 75%. However, there is some good news. If your application for your new solar system is submitted early enough, you can still lock in your savings under the current policy. This is good for up to 20 years, with no deadline for construction of the system. It's time to finally go solar, and Solar Negotiators is making it easy for you to reserve your solar project today with flexible cancellation options. But their team is recommending that all customers who don't currently have solar look to getting a quote and an active reservation as soon as possible. You will need a solar agreement to hold your place under the current 2.0 rules. NEM 3.0 is coming, and the deadline is rapidly approaching. Don't wait. Lock in your solar savings today. To learn more about NEM 3.0 or to reserve your project, go to solarnegotiators.com today.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but what about the nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons. Sinusitis, colds, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Over 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying, best product I've ever used, and amazing, I love my Navage. Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
It just takes one stable relationship with a caring adult to help reverse the negative impacts on a child who's experienced abuse or neglect. For foster youth, childhood trauma causes more than physical and emotional pain. It can also lead to lifelong health problems. The good news is that it takes just one CASA, a court-appointed special advocate, to make a difference. Find out how you can help at californiacasa.org today.
Said the night went to the little lamb. Do you see what I see?
223, News Talk 580, 1059 KMJ. Worldwide, you can hear us at kmjnow.com. It's the Afternoon Drive. That's Joe Basil. I'm Philip Teresi. We are very glad to have you along this afternoon. Back in February of 2013, our community got to know a young man originally from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, Caleb Lawrence McGilvery. But that is not the name that our community got to know him as. We got to know him as Kai, specifically Kai the hatchet-wielding hitchhiker.
A man claiming he's Jesus plows his car into a PG&E worker, pinning him against his truck. The man's passenger comes to the rescue.
People say don't hitchhike. Well, good thing I was hitchhiking. That one was in danger. So I ran up behind him with a hatchet. Smash, smash, smash. Yeah, yeah. If he started driving that car again, there'd be a hell of a lot of bodies around here. Dude, that guy was cooped out. He can snap a woman's neck like a pencil stick. So I started smashing him in the head. Smash, smash, smash. No matter what you've done, you deserve respect. Even if you make mistakes, you're lovable. Doesn't matter your look, skills, or age, or size, or anything. You're worthwhile. No one can ever take that away from you. You're worthwhile. No one can ever take that away from you. I was in the passenger side of this car, and he's like, you know what? I come to realize, oh Jesus Christ, I can do anything I want to. Bam! He smashed into this guy right there. Two women are trying to help him. He grabs one of them. So I ran up behind him with a hatchet. Smash, smash, smash. Yeah, yeah. If he started driving that car again, there'd be a hell of a lot of bodies around here. Dude, that guy was cooked out.
That's my favorite line. That dude was cooked out.
Cooked out.
Oh, that of course being the auto-tune the news version of an interview. I don't know if the reporter from KMPH who conducted that original interview, I don't know if he has left that entire thing available online. And I have not, in many, many years, checked the KMPH website.
Yeah.
The package that they did for the news was a pretty straightforward news package that just blew up. The uncut interview is a masterclass in a reporter who has entered a realm of existence previously unexplored, keeping a straight face and a steady hand while talking to a guy who is from another planet.
And by the way, the video is up. I'm looking at it right now on YouTube. So on KMPH's YouTube channel, you can go there. 5 minutes and 50 seconds of joy.
It is bizarre. It is fascinating. It is an insight into somebody who has effectively dropped out of society. From like an anthropological standpoint, it's an important video. From a human standpoint, this Kai kid, he did not come up well he was out on the road and eventually ended up being convicted of a murder totally unrelated to this. And he's currently serving a sentence of nearly 60 years in prison for that homicide. Now, the circumstances that revolve around it, I always thought it sounded like he got into a situation that he didn't understand with somebody who thought it was a sugar daddy, sugar baby minute. Mm-hmm. And he freaked out. And he killed somebody for, in his mind, sexually assaulting him. Nevertheless, he killed somebody, and he's serving a substantial prison sentence because of it. So since that conviction, we haven't seen much of Kai.
Yeah.
He's in prison. Him and his attorneys are working the appeal. Today, the Monroe Review brought us back to the story of Kai, the hatchet-wielding hitchhiker. Netflix is producing a film about Kai. Will you watch the Kai the hatchet-wielding hitchhiker video?
That's a great question. 490-5858. Call us. I want to know if you would watch this as well. My problem is, well, first of all, let me see if I can do some detective work here in the tweet or on the Instagram post. The hatchet-wielding hitchhiker premieres on 10th January 2023, only on Netflix, indicating it's more than likely a Canadian project. He's from Edmonton. That's the way that Canada would post that date. And so they probably know more about him than we do. I'm guessing in Canada they could do a deep dive on his life. I'm trying to figure out, we know the conclusions. Like, we know the two big concluding moments in his life. I'm trying to figure out what else is watchable leading up to that moment.
Let's take a listen to the trailer with the caution that if this is a inappropriately labeled red band trailer, I got to bail on it.
Okay.
Went from this heroic, beautiful person to wanted for murder.
An absolute bizarre scene here in West Fresno. A man plows his car into a PG&E worker, pinning him against his truck.
Two women are trying to help him. He runs up and he grabs one of them, man. So I f***ing ran up behind him with a hatchet. Smash, smash, smash.
Everyone around the world wanted a piece of this kid.
How do you know this guy?
The internet, man.
Is that really you?
How did it make you feel, though, being this viral sensation?
I'm not a virus. I'm a sensation. I'm Kai.
Most people that are heroes are not homeless people. There was something funny about him and kind of cute and sweet and innocent.
He has such an endearing quality. There's so much charisma.
Before I say anything else, I want to say no matter what you've done, you deserve respect. Even if you make mistakes, you're worthwhile.
If you're going to glorify someone, you better know who you're glorifying.
Kai, the hatchet-wielding hitchhiker, he's been arrested for allegedly taking the life of a man in New Jersey.
There was no forced entry, but under the computer is a phone number with the name Lawrence Kai. Made you stop and think, could he be responsible for something like this?
Part of me wondered what actually happened that day in Fresno. Was this him being the hero or not?
Smash!
Hitting somebody in the head with a hatchet 3 times, blunt side or not, is violent.
Smash!
When it comes to a certain situation of pressure, you either become a diamond or you get crushed.
Smash!
So they are revolving this around mainly the two events we're talking about. I'm sure they'll do some pre-story, backstory leading up to this.
Guys, will you watch this thing? Because it has that piece of Fresno in it as the jumping off point to his brief and ignoble moment of fame. 490-5858, 800-776-5858. Are you curious, or is it a meme that has outlived its moment right now? It's time for an update of headlines with Liz Kern in the KMJ newsroom.
KMJ News now.
8 Bakersfield police officers are now on paid administrative leave following a shooting that left one suspect dead Tuesday morning. The details from KBAK reporter Fiona Dager.
An officer-involved shooting in East Bakersfield. Police say they got a call around 10 from a rail worker. He said a man was waving a gun on the train tracks just off of Union Avenue and Daniels Street.
Officers made contact with that individual. The circumstances of that initial contact are still under investigation. All of the officers that were present were wearing body-worn cameras. During that first incident, officers discharged their firearms. Subsequently, the individual was engaged in a foot pursuit, which ultimately terminated on Daniels Lane, where there was another series of gunshots by the officers.
Taiwan scrambling combat jets to warn off Chinese planes entering the airspace. ABC's Inez de la Catera has more from the foreign desk.
Taiwan's defense ministry saying it sent combat jets to warn away 39 Chinese aircraft that entered its air defense zone. Over the last 2 years, Taiwan has repeatedly complained of missions carried out by the Chinese Air Force. Thursday's incursion included 21 fighters and 4 H-6 bombers, as well as early warning, anti-submarine, and aerial refueling aircraft. Inez de la Catera, ABC News, at the foreign desk.
200 million Americans are in the path of a massive winter storm. It's expected to roll across the country just ahead of the holiday travel weekend. Ohio's Governor Mike DeWine says by tomorrow morning, roads across the entire state will start to freeze over.
Because of the extreme temperatures, the salt will really not work very well at all. And that creates additional problems.
He's urging everyone to consider staying home for the holidays.
O Tannenbaum, wie treu sind deine Blätter.
You can thank Germany's Prince Albert for your Christmas tree. That's because he got a tree for his new wife, Queen Victoria of England, to mark the holiday season. And a drawing of the couple in front of a Christmas first tree appeared in Illustrated London News in 1848 and started the trend. On Wall Street, the Dow ended down 348 points. 2:33 right now. Valley weather, cloudy still, 44 at Radio City.
I'm Alexis Govea from the Fox 26 Weather Center. Happy Thursday. This morning we experienced dense fog in the Central Valley, but it cleared up around the 11 o'clock hour this morning. Let's take a look now at your high and low. For Fresno today, we're looking at a high of 53 degrees, and your low will be 39 degrees. And that's a look at your weather for today. From the Fox 26 Weather Center, I'm Alexis Govea for KMJ News.
With news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com. I'm Liz Kern, News Talk 580, 1059 KMJ.
In Madera, got some slow-moving cars going on southbound 99 Avenue 12. No accident there. It's just slow and go. So be prepared. Visalia, Merritt Drive Road, 44. An unknown hazard being reported in Delray, East Adams and South Delray. They're dealing with an injury accident. Next update is 2:47. I'm Greg Lane with KMJ Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the California Office of Traffic Safety and Caltrans. Had cannabis or taken medication that may impair? Put the car keys away and stay in. Have a sober friend pick you up or order in. It's worth it. Whatever you do, don't drive the highway. Go safely, California. From the California Office of Traffic Safety and Caltrans.
24/7 Pet Vets has set the standard for emergency pet care around the clock in California since 1975. They've never closed their doors, not once, through remodeling, earthquakes, 9/11, the pandemic. 24/7 Pet Vets has never closed their doors since 1975. Can you imagine how many furry family members have been saved by the devoted veterinarians and vet techs in the last 46 years at 24/7 Pet Vets? And they always stay ahead of the game, spending what they have to purchase the latest life-saving equipment so they can go on for the next 46 years. 24/7 Pet Vets, 6 minutes from anywhere. Take 41 to McKinley and then head west to Fresno Street by about a block. You'll see it with no problem. And remember, they're open 24 hours a day. 24/7 Pet Vets. You need them.
Are you like me? You like to play around with your truck or your Jeep? Whether that vehicle is just a toy or maybe it's your office, it's your work. That's how you make your living because of your truck. Every single need you have with that vehicle is met by the Noble Brothers Truck Accessory Center. Yeah, me, Ray Appleton. I'm talking about this great company that I have been involved with for a couple of decades now. I couldn't even begin to tell you how many different dealerships here in Central California have used the Noble Brothers for years to finish their trucks. But you want to finish that after-purchase build-out? Your partner on that one has to be the Noble Brothers Truck Accessory Centers. 2 of them, one out in Sunnyside, the other at Blackstone and Sierra. Hey, you got a fifth wheel? You need the Noble Brothers. They have gooseneck hitches, and yes, they have B&W. You need a bed liner? A ladder rack? You have a Jeep Wrangler like me. You want to lift it, big tires, wheels, all kinds of lights? For 42 years, it's the Noble Brothers Truck Accessory Centers.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm.
Tired of that foggy, forgetful feeling in the morning? Say goodbye to junk sleep and get to Mattress Firm's Dream Simber sale. Save up to 50% off select mattresses from top brands. Visit a store near you or mattressfirm.com today.
You have many financial goals. You want to buy or pay off your house. You need to replace your car. You want to pay for a wedding, send your kids to college, travel the world, and one day retire. But how?
The Afford Anything podcast explains the economy and the market, detailing how to make wise choices on the way you spend and invest.
Afford Anything is not a podcast that tells you what to do. It's a podcast that teaches you how to be better at thinking for yourself.
Make smarter choices and build a better life.
Afford Anything, wherever you listen.
Your calls, your tweets, and your voice are welcome right now.
And unfortunately, I'm furious about what's going on, so I can't enjoy the call as much as I would otherwise.
The Valley's Afternoon Drive with Philip Teresi on News Talk 580 1059 KMJ.
Thank you to the Shy and Vang families. 2 more folks sending in their Christmas cards. Joining us in the Afternoon Drive Christmas card exchange. It's underway right now. We got a brand new Christmas card for you guys. Joshua Weekly designed it. It is a fresh take for 2022. And if you want to have an Afternoon Drive Christmas card, you just have to send us yours. 1071 West Shaw Avenue, Fresno, California, 93711. When we get your Christmas card and therefore get your return address, we will immediately drop one right back in the mail to you. So if you want to be a part of the Afternoon Drive Christmas card exchange, don't sleep on it because I'm thinking I'm going to come back in January and I'm going to address any cards that may have come in after Christmas, and that'll be that.
Yeah, Joshua Weekly's card's amazing. It's a near exact replica of a $100 bill, but Philip is the face in the center. So that way when you get it, you're like, oh my gosh, I got $100, and then you're super pissed. You're like, this isn't $100. So you're going to want that card. It's amazing.
Have you guys done Christmas Tree Lane or Candy Cane Lane yet this year?
I did. It's actually what I would consider the start of my Christmas spirit. We went on, our buddy Eric Tinkin, he owns a home on Candy Cane Lane.
Oh, nice.
And so he throws a cigar party. So like, of course you know where to find me. I'm a one note. What does Joe like to do? We get it, cigars, stop talking about it. But has this amazing party, live music. So we invited it's so big band, 3 different bands play Christmas music, cigars, potluck. So he invited our church, and he's a buddy, and our Holy Smoke Bible study, and then a ton of other people. And so it's just massive. So it was nice because you're hitting Candy Cane Lane, but then you had a place to kind of chill and hang out and eat. And so then we went and did that, and I liked the Ditto House. Have you seen the Ditto House?
Of course.
Ditto House was good. Which was funny, but most of the houses there were super impressive.
Yeah, we did. Now, are you talking about
Candy Cane?
Candy Cane in
Clovis.
Visalia or Clovis, Alluvial and Peach? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where we were last night. We were going to go down Christmas Tree Lane, and so I did what I have done for years. I took 41 to Shields and got off at Shields, and then discovered that you are not allowed to go westbound on Shields at Blackstone because, unfortunately, people act like clowns and will park in the intersection so as to not allow anybody from southbound Blackstone to get into line for Christmas Tree Lane. And so Fresno PD said enough is enough. And this, by the way, an important tip that I don't think I've heard anybody else mention. If you want to go on Christmas Tree Lane, the only way to enter is from Blackstone Avenue, southbound, turning westbound onto Shields. You cannot U-turn at Shields. You cannot turn off of northbound Blackstone to get into line. The only way to get into Christmas Tree Lane, if you're still waiting to go, southbound Blackstone.
Did not know that.
Neither did I. And so we get off the freeway, realize what's going on, make the turn. And so we're driving. We're going to go to the end of the line and get in line because It's Christmas Tree Lane. It's Christmas. This was at 7 o'clock Wednesday night, last night. And we drove, and we drove, and we drove some more, trying to find the end of the line. And then we drove a little bit longer. And then we found the end of the line, which was actually very easily accessed by making a U-turn at Shaw.
So you had to go back to Shaw. Please tell me you just kept driving.
Yeah, we did. That's why we went to Candy Cane Lane.
Yeah, you're like, bye.
I was like, because everybody's excited. Like they've got their blankets, they're ready. We got the hot cocoa. So we don't mind getting in line and spending a minute in line. I'm not sitting in 1 mile an hour traffic from Shaw Avenue.
No, especially because you're from Shaw Avenue. Even the 1 mile on Christmas Tree Lane would be a lot for me. That's a little much.
Because you're going to wait on Shaw as long as the drive on Christmas Tree Lane would take, because you are actually going the entire length of Christmas Tree Lane.
Right, it's two. You're doing two of them.
2 blocks to the east.
And then you have to watch everybody try to cut in, which is always fun. And I'm the funny part is I'm not even mad at it. It's just the madness that it creates when someone's like, "Oh, I'm just trying to get over and trying to get in there." Did you have just curious, in that line, have you seen the people towing like trailers and boats and having people sit on those while they're going down Christmas Tree Lane? I've seen so many this year. I've never seen them before.
I did not see that. I wasn't specifically looking for it because I was really keeping an eye for where's the end, where's the end, where's the end.
Right.
So I didn't notice that. I did see not boats and trailers, but as Candy Cane Lane is safely inside the boundaries of Clovis, where freedom is still occasionally allowed, I did see a lot of people who would park at the park there at Alluvial and Peach,
that's the way to do it.
jump in the bed of the pickup truck with their blankets and their cocoa, and Dad drives the circuit while all the kids get to enjoy riding in the back of the pickup truck at 3 miles an hour through this spectacularly decorated neighborhood.
Did you drive or walk it?
We drove it.
Yeah, okay. So I walked it, which is fine. Also, I'm surprised you'd even try Christmas Tree Lane because we work right next to it.
Yeah.
And a few nights I couldn't get out of here. I couldn't get out of here because of the people coming off of Christmas Tree Lane. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm having trouble leaving work, let alone thinking like, now I want to spin around and go back to that. I was like, nope, not even going to think about it.
I understand completely. And yeah, I still want to go down Christmas Tree Lane. I love Christmas Tree Lane. I'm kicking myself for not going down Christmas Tree Lane on December 3rd. But I'm going to go. Probably tonight. So if the rest of you could stay home, that'd be really appreciated.
That'd be really nice. That'd be so good. You know what, guys? Give him an early Christmas present. Do him a solid. It's fine.
We're going to take the laptop so we can watch a Christmas movie, and we're gonna load up
while you're driving. That's a great idea. Just throw it right on the dash. That's great.
Just easier, softer way. I don't need to look at Miracle on 34th Street to know what's going on, and it'll keep everybody else in the car a little calm.
Do you know I'm like that. I'm good with hearing movies I've seen 1,000 times. Like everybody else can watch it. If I'm just hearing it, I can. It's like it's playing in my brain.
So I can sit there and heel toe. Something that I have noticed, and it's something that I have noticed at both Christmas Tree Lane in years past, and that I've seen at Candy Cane Lane, not just this year, but multiple years. Just good neighborly behavior would indicate that obviously the entrance to and any negotiation of space within these environments would be best served by a zippered merge. Meaning, for instance, when I went into Candy Cane Lane, I came in off of Peach. So I'm making a left turn from northbound Peach into the neighborhood. There are cars that are going to make a right-hand turn from southbound Peach.
Correct.
And there are people in line who are going to stay up on each other's butts, and they will block traffic in all directions.
Yeah.
They will risk scraping another vehicle's paint. They will scream and swear and flip the bird if you try to get your car in. I may have made my wife cross because I do not scream and swear and flip the bird in traffic because I'm not that guy anymore.
Okay.
I was, but I'm not. But my window is
You just
down.
simmer angrily. I get it.
And in a cloud clear voice, I said, "That's really good work, everybody. You need to make absolutely certain that nobody gets in line in front of you, so that you're one car length behind where you think you should be, because everybody knows that if you let a Ford product get into line, Santa Claus will skip your house. You're all setting marvelous examples for all of your children, and I want you to know that I'm very proud of all of you for being the adults that you have to be in order to have purchased those cars.
2 things. 1, Lisa had a great beard. She'd be you. I keep telling you guys the same person. She came from Wisconsin to Illinois, and she's like, why don't they know how to zipper merge here?
Yeah.
They don't understand the zipper. And she'd show people and walk through, this is how you do the zipper, and it makes sense. By the way, if you go to England, they do it the best because it's all about keeping the pace, like doing it fast. Second thing is, my one professor told me that they use so much sarcasm in their youth group that they started saying a phrase anytime somebody was sarcastic, and they'd say, sarcasm helps.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. I've also noticed that almost universally, the people who behave that way are not just morbidly, but grotesquely obese.
That is such a random observation.
But I witnessed it 3 times last night.
Right.
Everybody else is having a good time. Everybody else is letting people in and out, and folks can move around. The 3 times that I saw somebody bordering on bumping into a trailer hitch, which, by the way, very smart thing to tailgate a truck that is jacked up 15 inches and has one of those like Swiss Army hitch balls.
Yeah, massive.
The hood of your car is definitely going to win that argument.
Yeah.
All 3 of the people I saw behave this way. And it was only 3. Everybody else was awesome. The 3 people that I saw this behave, every single one of them could have body doubled for Jabba the Hutt. They were all disgusting, greasy, flabby examples of the worst of humanity.
You are amazing. This is a rant. This needs to. By the way, I really hope this goes in the best of. I just want that quote right there. The Jabba the Hutt double.
Of all the places to behave like that. We're all there to see Christmas lights, you moron. Zippered merge. 3 people out of hundreds of cars, all bumper to bumper, all the way through. Yeah. Hours of riding a brake.
Let me just tell you.
3 human beings could not bring it upon themselves to just let traffic flow.
Let me just tell you. You didn't have to say this to me on air. I apologize. I was the one in front of you not letting you in. Forgive me.
They didn't do it to me. They did it to cars in front of me. But it was just, it's bizarre. And again, it's gross fat people who don't want to, it's like you're afraid you might have to walk if there's another car.
Merry Christmas.
In Fresno, East Church at South Orange, hit and run 9-injury accident there. In Coalinga, southbound I-5, just north of State Route 198, hit and run non-injury accident. Goshen's got some problems on southbound 99 at Betty. A large box in the middle lane causing a hazard there. In Porterville, Deer Creek Drive at Road 296, hit and run non-injury accident. Next update, 3:03. Greg Lane with KMJ Traffic.
This report is sponsored by In-N-Out Burger.
At In-N-Out, our hamburgers are made with the highest quality ingredients, made fresh and by hand, made with a smile, and made to order just for you.
Amanda Nugent-Devine, licensed marriage and family therapist, CEO of Kingsview.
Many people have used the phrase, it's okay to not be okay, and I really like that. Here's why. If we have not felt grief before, many of us have experienced it in abundance as a result of the pandemic. When we experience loss, it is normal to be sad and to grieve. Grieving is an essential part of the healing process. Many of us learned about the 5 stages of grief identified by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. The theory goes that we do not necessarily go through the stages in sequential order, and we often cycle back through or revisit certain stages. But ultimately, the goal is that we end up at acceptance. But psychologists say it is much more complicated than this. Grief causes distinct changes in people's bodies and in their brain activity. The bottom line, is that everyone grieves differently. And what is important is that a person seeks help when their grief disrupts their life, work, relationships, and ability to care for self.
The Mental Health Minute with Amanda Nugent-Devine is sponsored by Kingsview.
Save on everything for the holidays, from entertaining and cooking to gifting and decor at Bed Bath & Beyond. Great deals on top brands like KitchenAid, Keurig, Shark, iRobot, Breville, Ninja, Calphalon, Tefal, Sharper Image, Oral-B, and Homedics. Save more with our gift of the day with amazing offers every day. Plus, here's a gift just for you. Take 25% off your entire purchase every time you shop by texting JOY to 239663. That's JOY to 239663. Welcome the holidays with Bed Bath & Beyond. Offer expires December 25th. Exclusions apply. See website for details.
This holiday season, give the most eternal, unique gift of the year. Name a star after someone. I'm Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, we'll name a star after anyone on your gift list. The star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office, and we will send an incredible personalized gift package. Call the Star Registry 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com for the gift that shines forever.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but what about the nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons: sinusitis, colds, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Over 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying, "Best product I've ever used," and "Amazing, I love my Navage." Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Live, local, on it. News Talk 580 1059 KMJ.
KMJ.
And always streaming at KMJNow.com.
Rolling up on 3 o'clock on your afternoon drive. It's Philip Teresi and Joe Basil on the afternoon drive on KMJ. Phone's open for you guys. 490-5858 and toll free 800-776-5858. Gio checking in regarding my disappointment with, I'm assuming that they're not Fresnans. I'm assuming that they drove in from out of town, because nobody from Fresno or Clovis would act like these.
Not a save, Philip. Not a save.
I'm okay with it. Gio, welcome to KMJ.
Philip, Stanford University wants to send you their new thesaurus. After all those things you just said, after yesterday's program, you were saying fat slop.
Yes.
Man, I can't believe it.
Yes, and not just fat slob, but grotesquely obese Jabba the Hutt body double dirtbag.
You mentioned the word slob.
Oh, yes.
And greasy, and you made me laugh so hard.
Good. You know why you're laughing? Because you're not that kind of person.
I'm not. Unfortunately, I work at a place where I got to be careful, but screw it, I'm not at work now.
Gio, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, man. Thank you for calling, dude. It was good to hear from you. So when we get back, we got a lot of ground to cover. The Carrie Lake story is continuing to expand.
Compelling stuff, too, actually.
Is it?
I thought the development was interesting with and we can post the pictures, but very interesting.
We're absolutely. We're going to dig into that. And the fraud claims from the 45th President of the United States, and the testimony now revealed from the likes of Sean Hannity and others from the Fox News lineup, and what they had to say about their interpretation of his claims in the moment. That's Joe Basil. I'm Philip Teresi. It's the afternoon drive at News Talk 580, 1059. KMJ Worldwide. You can hear us at KMJNow.com. And by the way, if you're bumping around online, we got sweet deals up for grabs at KMJNow.com. Shanghai Chinese Cuisine, Hummus Republic. I think we're sold out of 99 Craft Pizza. It looked like it when I was there, but it's on the list, so go check it out. And Friday, set a reminder for this one because it always sells out. $25 gets you $50 to spend at Sunnyside Deli. That starts tomorrow at 9 a.m.
You don't want to miss that.
And that's when I say set an alarm, I mean it, because that's one of those sweet deals that's going to sell out in minutes, not hours. Check it out, kmjnow.com. Again, that's Joe Basil. I'm Philip Teresi, and you're listening to KMJ.
Part of the show? Get the Afternoon Drive podcast at kmjnow.com or by searching KMJ's Afternoon Drive in Amazon Music or Stitcher.
Because COVID vaccines just got a big update. So all the big stuff coming up this fall? Well, now you can say, you bet I'll be there. Because updated COVID vaccines protect against both the original COVID virus and Omicron. And everyone 5 and older can get one. So this is a moment we've all been waiting for.
Find updated COVID vaccines at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
As the nights grow longer and the days get colder, growers have to work harder to fill holiday shelves and feed Santa's reindeer and elves. This is Christina Mousson with Gar Bennett. There is definitely a chill in the air, and while we nestle all snug and warm in our beds, growers are working hard with visions of rain in their heads. Rain and cooler weather means there is less time to get fields ready and make repairs. Gar Bennett's CAMs and PCAs don't waste time. They are experts at timing, treating, and designing programs that produce great yields, quality fruit, and don't waste a drop. Whether you've been naughty or nice, or you're looking for the best service, products, or price, call Gar Bennett for the best water, irrigation, nutrition, regulatory, and crop care advice and products at 800-696-6108 and online at garbennett.com. We help growers feed the world at 800-696-6108.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur with words from another happy payroll customer.
So it's very easy to use. From the login and the setup was extremely easy. I didn't have to call anyone for help. I was able to do it on my own. And I love the fact that I can run my payroll and print my pay stubs, and then you guys do all of the filing for me. So I get a quarterly report that everything's been filed on my behalf, and then at the end of the year I can print out my W-2s. So I use you guys. I tell everybody, it's the easiest thing I've ever done. Why anybody doesn't use y'all, I don't know.
Visit us at PatriotSoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
This is Christina Mousson. I am having the best sleep thanks to the Design Studio by Furniture City. I was shopping for furniture when I mentioned that my neck hurt because I was having trouble with the pillow on my bed. The Design Studio carries a full line of Tempur-Pedic. The pillow is like butter. I know my next bed is Tempur-Pedic. Check out the extensive Tempur-Pedic line at the Design Studio by Furniture City in the former Osh building at Blackstone and Barstow in Fresno.
Celebrating a century of broadcasting. News Talk 580 AM, 105.9 FM, KMJ, Fresno, a Cumulus media station.
It's 3 o'clock in Fresno. I'm Joe Miller in the KMJ News Center. Highway 41 in Madera will gain 2 more lanes thanks to a $25 million grant from the Department of Transportation. The 2-lane highway will become 4 lanes after an extension project from Avenue 10.5 to Avenue 15. Officials say construction expected to start in early 2024. Valley Animal Center in Fresno says they need pet food donations. Staff members say on social media they're running low and have a week's worth of food left. Links to donate pet food can be found on their Facebook page. A 27-year-old Tulare County man's been sentenced to life in prison after being convicted of his 3rd strike under California's 3 strikes law. KMJ's Liz Kern has the details.
Back in November of 2018, Tulare police say Benny Valdez pulled out a gun in front of 3 people at an apartment complex, then later hit one of them in the head with it. This past June, he pleaded no contest to being a felon in possession of ammunition during a separate incident in 2018. He was found guilty in June of attempted first-degree burglary, assault with a firearm, brandishing a firearm, and delaying a peace officer, and special allegations that he was armed with a firearm and personally used it. Valdez already had 2 strikes for assault with a deadly weapon in 2012 and in 2014 a burglary. Now he'll serve 43 years and 8 months in prison before being considered for parole. Liz Kern, KMJ News.
1 woman dead, multiple people hurt, including 2 children after a crash in Fresno County. Authorities say it happened on Clovis and Jefferson Avenues yesterday. The 3 adults and 4 children have major to critical injuries, including 2 children ages 2 to 4 years old in extreme critical condition. A health alert from the CDC for pediatricians and other health providers amid an anecdotal increase in invasive strep. ABC's Dave Packer reports.
With the increase in respiratory, flu, and COVID cases this season comes increased risk of developing a second infection, such as strep. The concern at the CDC stems from anecdotal reports of increased cases in children of invasive strep A, a more advanced illness that happens when the streptococcal bacteria infects the bloodstream or tissues like deep muscle and fat tissue. Children are particularly vulnerable when they're already infected with RSV, flu, or COVID. Invasive strep A cases fell during the pandemic, but now that mitigation measures have been reduced, we could be returning to normal levels. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Now the forecast from Fox 26's Alexis Govea.
Happy Friday Eve. I'm Alexis Govea from the Fox 26 Weather Center. This morning we experienced dense fog in the Central Valley, but it cleared up around the 11 o'clock hour this morning. Let's take a look now at your high and low for Fresno today. Your high will be 53 degrees and your low will be 39 degrees. From the Fox 26 Weather Center, I'm Alexis Govea for KMJ News. Have a great day and drive safe.
With news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com, I'm Joe Miller for News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
When your business information is missing or inconsistent across the internet, search engines won't find you, and customers won't either. Help ensure customers see you and not your competitors. Boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
Your calls, your tweets, and your voice are welcome right now.
So let me start by saying thanks for all that you do.
The Valley's Afternoon Drive with Philip Teresi on News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
3:04 on your afternoon drive. It's News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ. Joe Basil over there. I'm Philip Teresi. Phones are open for your calls at 490-5858 and toll free 800-776-5858. So we've got the election fraud thing really right in the headlines this morning. And it starts with Kari Lake and this trial to overturn the Arizona election results. Kari Lake lost. She lost by about 17,000 votes. But Kari Lake has adopted a position that she didn't lose because 17,000 people voted for her opponent more than voted for her. Kari Lake has adopted a position that the county officials in Maricopa have robbed her, stolen the election from her, denied her her rightful place as governor, and that she is going to prove that by bitching about it loudly. At least that's how it reads to me. They did have their first day in court, and the first day in court, there was a couple of things that got entered into the record. And one that's getting a lot of hay made out of it is some misprinted ballots. And what appears to have happened is that about 20 ballots that we have seen as yet were printed at 95% scale on the 20-inch ballot cardstock. Mm-hmm. So, of course, normally you would print everything at 100% scale. If you print something at 95% scale, a voter may not look at it and say, oh, wait, hey, wow, this thing's really messed up. But computers being computers, it may not get read properly. Mm-hmm. As far as I can tell, all those ballots got counted after they got cured, after it was recognized that the computers couldn't scan them because of the scaling difference.
Mm-hmm.
So we had some misprinted ballots that got manually counted. And there was 20 of them, not 17,000.
I believe the two claims were, so the idea is, I'll ask you this question in a second of, say they prove it, what's at stake here? I'm going to ask you what you think of that afterwards. Like, say she, like, wow, smoking gun, you know what I mean? Like, they're totally rigged. I don't even know how they fix that. But let's go with, so one, just legally, forget like anything else, does that open the door for a recount to see if there are more ballots that were, if that happened once in 20 of them or 50 of them, you start to say, how many does it take to realize a printer error could have happened more than that? And you open the door to be like, it's at least a possibility. I mean, it's like, if it happened in this one spot, could it happen more times? And did that affect the machine's ability to register which votes there? And I would say, so I think right now at this point, we're just talking about whether or not they would do a recount. I believe that's what's at stake in this trial. And so that's one. And then chain of custody was the other issue brought up. And I believe the judge was open to hearing those two things, whether or not the chain of custody was met when dealing with some ballots. Now, I'm not saying she got railroaded and this is all going to make her governor.
Yeah.
But if those are remotely true in any case, and because I think there's a financial issue here. I forgot what the cost was to do a recount, but it is an issue. I think it's like a 3-day, whatever they said it was going to be. I'm at least open to hearing about whether or not you need to do a recount. But I wouldn't know where it goes from here, but that at least makes me go, I wonder.
The chain of custody question.
Mm-hmm.
Because at this point, there hasn't actually been any evidence presented except for a secondhand retelling of eyewitness testimony,
mm-hmm.
which would not be enough to convict any citizen of a crime. If there is any even moderately believable substantiation of the claim that there was any break in the chain of custody. Two questions. One, if there was a lapse at that point, can we say with absolute certainty there were no other lapses? If yes, then the question becomes, how many ballots were affected by that chain of custody issue? Because if it was 100, it's not going to change the outcome of this election. It's an issue and it needs to be addressed, but it's not going to change the outcome of this election. So then you've got to kind of analyze, will it change the outcome of any election anywhere in the county where it is reported to have happened? Which
Maricopa is 60% of the voting population. I could see why this is where you'd make your fight, because you're saying 60% could change the outcome of this election.
If there was a chain of custody issued that affected a number of ballots adequate to alter the outcome of any contest in that county, then yes, you have to recount in that county. But that doesn't mean that Kari Lake is going to be the governor of Arizona. It may mean that Bob Jones is the dog catcher instead of Dave Smith.
Don't besmirch Bob Jones. He did a good job.
Campaigning is an imprecise art. So at this point, in my mind, this rumor, and by the way, it is not 20 ballots that were printed at like 95% scale. The count of ballots that are being represented as having been both misprinted and manually counted, 14 14. So next.
Well, I'm surprised in law, in part of their law currently in legislation, that there isn't a number of ballots that it has to meet a requirement for a recount, by the way.
There is.
I mean, like for like misprinted or something along those lines. Because that way that just make it a simple process. Like you'd have to produce a certain amount of ballots for us to say, okay, recount.
So in the state of Arizona, the state requires automatic recounts whenever the margin of victory in an election is less than or equal to 0.5% of total votes cast.
Sure.
There's no set deadline for an automatic recount. There is also no avenue to request a recount outside of the automatic recount law.
Right.
You can't request one. There's no mechanism to pay for it because it's not permissible under the law. And you cannot request a partial recount. So we are fighting about some very, 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 very thin lines. That doesn't mean that it's not worth analyzing and making sure that Maricopa County and the state of Arizona continue to do their best to have a perfect and airtight election every time. Kari Lake didn't get robbed of her victory, and she's not going to be governor.
Yeah, I think it's funny is I would say the evidence is leading that way. I'm just such a proponent of using the law when you have a problem. Now, this person, I know different opinions about Kari Lake, and some people abuse that idea, but when you're talking about a governorship, and if you feel like you have even a little bit of evidence. And again, she presented 10 things. The judge flat out rejected 8.
Yeah.
Just said, nope,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. These 2, interesting, right?
Yeah.
And probably at the end of the day, isn't enough. But I think the judge did the right thing to just say, okay, this is opening a door. I'm not saying you're going to walk through that door, but it is open a little bit of a door, and there's something there to be thought about. And I think eventually when you get down to 14 ballots, and unless you can produce somebody else that said you could actually poll every other person, every other balloter, whoever was an observer, and say, did you see anything printed at 95%? You could just send an email out. And if everybody says no, then you're stuck with 14 ballots. So that one's done. And then chain of custody, you say, all right, what were the amount of ballots in that scenario?
Yeah.
Did anybody else? Because I want to say the lawyer on the opposite side of Kari Lake has made some really good points that no one has mentioned this at all about any kind of voter fraud. And we all know humans can't keep quiet, especially when committing crimes.
And then there is the question with that chain of custody. There is allegations that an election worker included in this batch of custodially questionable ballots an additional 50 ballots that were their like friends and families and Bible study group.
Right.
If an election worker unlawfully added ballots at any point, they need to be disciplined like hell, and it needs to be made public. If we are talking about 50 ballots, the investigation needs to be how to close those gaps and how to make sure that the training is crystal clear.
Yeah.
You're going to eat jail food if you fool around. You're going to be at risk of eating jail food if you're sleeping at the wheel.
Right.
I think that this is worthwhile in that everybody wants their vote to count. Everybody wants their elections to be safe and secure and accurate. Yeah. I have zero doubt that Kari Lake is using the thinnest of premises to generate fundraising. I don't even think Kari Lake believes that she is going to be the next governor of the state of Arizona.
And correct me if I'm wrong, she's been a staunch supporter of Trump, also believed that he had his election stolen. This is not a weird leap to say, oh, look, it's now happened to me as well.
I don't think that it's a weird leap, because I think that it is a completely calculated bad faith argument. I don't think that Kari Lake believes it. And it's interesting you bring that up, because the defamation suit brought by Dominion Voting Systems against Fox News is now into the revelation of depositions.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Peters over at the Times is reporting on how this whole thing unfolded, this conversation between Sean Hannity and Sidney Powell on his Fox News television show. And then the question leveled at Mr. Hannity by attorneys for Dominion Voting Systems. Did you believe any of Sidney Powell's claims that Dominion Voting Systems was hijacking votes and stealing the election on behalf of Joe Biden? The quote from Sean Hannity, I did not believe it for 1 second.
It's a good beginning into defamation because defamation is a really, really hard thing to prove. That's a good start into it.
In the case of public entities, actual malice is the standard. A little bit more on this. The cynicism, the belief that playing to the wish casting of certain people would bring fruit, and the consequences of going on TV and lying about a thing when the person you're lying about or the entity that you're lying about pushes back on that. It's the Afternoon Drive at News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
Are tucked in their beds. Sugar plum fairies dancing in their heads. Stumble by.
In Selma on East Manning and South McCall, big rig tried to do a U-turn and got stuck. So it's definitely a hazard there. Coalinga on southbound I-5 at Derrick, hit and run, 9-injury accident. And in Goshen, southbound 99 at Betty Drive, got a hazard there. Next update, 3:33. I'm Greg Lane with KMJ Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Caltrans and the California Office of Traffic Safety. Hey drivers, Caltrans workers have families too. So if you see cones, road signs, or flashing amber lights, please don't ignore them. Move over a lane if it's safe to do so. Remember, flashing amber lights mean move over. It's the law. From Caltrans and the California Office of Traffic Safety.
Did you know there's a conservative advocacy and benefits organization with over 2 million members and counting? It's AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. Hi, this is Mary Walter. Here are 3 reasons why you should consider joining AMAC right now. First, AMAC saves you money, from discounts on travel and lodging, cell phones and plans, access to insurance products, and more. Joining AMAC is a powerful tool against inflation. Second, with a bi-monthly magazine, daily website content, podcasts with America's thought leaders, and an app that delivers insightful coverage of the issues that matter most, AMAC is a trusted source of information. And third, the reason that people say is their favorite is that AMAC fights for your conservative values on Capitol Hill. With more than 2 million members, AMAC is a voice that cannot be ignored, working tirelessly to preserve the freedoms secured by our Constitution. Go to amac.us/liberty and join today. That's amac.us/liberty. amac.us/liberty.
It's a new day because COVID vaccines just got a big update. So all the big stuff coming up this fall? Well, now you can say, you bet I'll be there. Because updated COVID vaccines protect against both the original COVID virus and Omicron. And everyone 5 and older can get one. So this is a moment we've all been waiting for.
Find updated COVID vaccines at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Planes, trains, and automobiles. Will you be traveling to see family and friends this holiday season? There's an updated COVID-19 vaccine that helps protect against the newer variants. If you are older or have a chronic condition, you are at greater risk. If it's been more than 2 months since your last shot, or 3 months since you had COVID, you should get the shot. It's easy and free to you. Learn more at covidvaccineproject.org. That's covidvaccineproject.org.
For huge holiday savings, don't miss the Save Mart 4-day sale. Today through Saturday, you can get incredible deals on all your holiday needs, plus gift cards for those last-minute stocking stuffers. Right now, USDA choice beef ribeye roast, bone-in, whole, sold in the bag is $5.99 a pound, limit 1. Dungeness crab clusters are $7.99 a pound. And pick up select Coke, 7-Up, or Pepsi 12-packs, or Rockstar 4-packs, buy 2, get 3 free of equal or lesser value, plus CRV. Happy holidays from Save Mart.
I'm attorney Mark Capitan from the Capitan Brothers Law Firm. I hope you've tuned into my show here on KMJ each Saturday at noon. As attorneys, my brother Peter and I have been very successful at winning record-level personal injury awards. For years now, I've defended thousands of local people. In a time of personal difficulty, it's not always easy to know what to do. You need to be smart. Take the time and make the call. Ask for help. We have the solutions and we'll fight for you. Make the call to Capitan Brothers. You'll be doing yourself a favor. Call 559-498-8000 or click us online at capitanbrothers.com. If you've been in an accident, been injured, or in trouble, know you can trust the Capitan Brothers. The number again, 559-498-8000. This is attorney Mark Capitan inviting you to tune in to the Mark Capitan Show every Saturday at noon right here on KMJ.
Think you have a good reason for not donating blood?
Oh, other people are donating enough.
Fact, 40% of the U.S. population is eligible to donate blood, yet less than 5% actually do. And there's a constant need for new, fresh blood to help save lives. There's no excuse for not helping make sure that the Central California Blood Center always has an adequate supply of blood available for your family, friends, and neighbors. Be the bigger person. Go to donateblood.org now to make an appointment.
You have many financial goals. You want to buy or pay off your house. You need to replace your car. You want to pay for a wedding, send your kids to college, travel the world, and one day retire. But how?
The Afford Anything podcast explains the economy and the market, detailing how to make wise choices on the way you spend and invest.
Afford Anything is not a podcast that tells you what to do. It's a podcast that teaches you how to be better at thinking for yourself.
Make smarter choices and build a better life.
Afford Anything, wherever you listen.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Walking home.
It's a 3 o'clock hour on the afternoon drive on News Talk 580. 105.9 KMJ. That's Joe Basil. I'm Philip Teresi.
This song was pure comedy when it came out in the 80s. I was like, did they make a funny Christmas? I mean, it was such the development of my humor. I'm like, they made a funny song about Christmas.
Yeah.
And it took the world by storm.
But she forgot her medication.
I remember it as a kid. I don't remember it being any bigger, like in the sonic background of my Christmases than any other particular song.
It was one of those things where we couldn't believe it was out there. Like, it's kind of hilarious they'd be this impressed with this song, and then it just faded away. But they were like, no way, and it was like on every hour in Chicago. Like, they were just playing this thing on the hour.
It's not even particularly Christmassy, except by virtue of the association. The Vince Gilardi trio, the Peanuts Christmas music. Schroeder playing. Or no, it's not Schroeder. What's his name playing the piano?
Pigpen.
No, it's not Pigpen.
It's Schroeder. Then it is Schroeder.
Is
you got it
okay.
right.
I don't
Schroeder.
remember. It's been such a long time since I remember Charlie Brown, Lucy, and Snoopy. That's this is how invested I am.
I'm such a bad person. I did not like the Peanuts cartoons as a kid, and I watched every one of them. I don't think I could look at Charlie be more pathetic another hour again in my life. He is the most pathetic figure, and at the very end, you throw him a kernel. There's just a kernel at the end of like, it's not that bad, Charlie. I'm like, I'm 7 and I'm sad for this kid. Why am I watching this depressing kid not be able to kick a football? What the actual hell is happening in this cartoon?
I understand completely where you're coming from, and I have always thought of him as, and don't laugh because I'm somewhat serious about this. I have always thought about Charlie Brown and Al Bundy occupying a similar space, in that you've got this guy he gets no respect. His friends jerk him around. He's not the best looking guy on the playground.
It's a funny way to describe Charlie Brown, but I like it.
Him and Al Bundy both. Neither of them are pretty people.
Yeah.
And yet he refuses to give up. He refuses to stop having faith in his friends, despite how many times has Lucy yanked the football out from in front of him. But he still has faith in his friends, and he still has faith in the people around him. He still has faith in the Great Pumpkin.
Yeah.
And that's that he is a young Al Bundy. He's got a football championship to win and a redhead to marry. And then the nihilism will set in.
Yeah, that is so funny. I love it. I love humanity, how we both, like, we're watching this from different perspectives. Like, stick in there, Charlie. I'm like, Charlie, tell your friends to go jump in a lake, go meet some real friends.
Now, where would we be scripturally if Job had done that?
He'd been happier. Even God's like, your friends are jerks. Maybe that's what God's saying about Charlie Brown's friends. Your friends are jerks.
Oh boy, there's. I don't want to get too far down that road because I'm going to get out over my skis in a bad way, and I don't want to offend anybody. But there is probably an interesting analysis to be had between the two.
There probably is. There probably is.
You know what the best part of Peanuts is? Those first few years when Charles Schultz was still like really fresh on it.
Yeah.
Because if you go back and they sell the books as collections now. If you go back, the characters are drawn a little different. And you can absolutely see that greatest generation, post-war, post-depression, that sense of things are pretty okay. And we really don't have anything to be miserable about. And I'm not quite ready to just relax.
That's actually a really good analogy because it actually helps if you kind of put Charlie Brown in that world, which is it's a hang in there, and he's here's why Charlie Brown's popular. Not everybody can relate to a cartoon who's winning all the time. All you do is win. All you do is win. It's always good. It's always good. And people are like, that's not my life. Charlie Brown's like, this is life. I'm not going to give up. It's hard. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so right. But I'm 7. Why do I want to see this when I'm 7? You were right. Charlie Brown is hanging in there. But that's like a message to a 30-year-old, not a 7-year-old.
And yet you go to the Great Pumpkin, and his faith is rewarded. His perseverance in the face of ridicule, in the face of harassment. And finally, it's not even Charlie, it's Linus. It's the most childlike who actually reaps the reward of having this confirmation of faith and patience being a virtue.
Yeah.
I think there's interesting lessons there. I don't know if the kids who grew up on SpongeBob and Teletubbies and all of that stuff, I don't know if they have the ability to read the nuance in those stories anymore.
No,
I think there's adults who can't do it.
Yeah, I agree. Even it's funny, there's just a lot of loss. I mean, the Great Pumpkin, he loses Sally. Sally's done. She's like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. And so then Linus, it is actually a fairly adult in terms of emotional concept in Charlie Brown, and I think that's why I didn't particularly enjoy it. I love it and watch it all the holidays, just like everybody else. I'm in watching it on the holidays, but even then I'm just like, I don't know. Charlie, good job sticking it out, but you're depressing me.
Tomorrow's really the day to dive in on the Christmas movie stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to ask you. So Charlie Brown, it sounds like obviously not your favorite film, but also not your least favorite Christmas film.
And also, I still can appreciate it. Like, I see it for the good thing it is. It's just not the thing for me.
What's the Christmas movie that makes you walk out of the room?
Like, because it's so terrible and I don't want to see it anymore?
Whether it's just too obnoxious and squealy and kiddie, whether it's too dumb and mean and vulgar, whatever.
You're going to hate me for this.
Mm-hmm.
It's Rudolph. I've seen it so many times.
You're talking about the claymation Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
And it's purely out of
Eyes.
volume. I've seen it so many times. I'm like, I'm just good with Rudolph for a very long time. Kirby, I could do Kirby all day. Wants to be a dentist. He's part of Rudolph. He's
the elf, yeah.
Yeah, that scene, I could watch that scene all day long. But outside of that, I'm in Bumble's Bounce. But I had Rudolph, I'm like, nope, I'm out.
There's something to be said for Yukon Cornelius as a role model.
It's the side characters I really enjoy at this point. Yeah.
Well, and don't forget, this is a children's film, and Yukon Cornelius, in every scene that he is in, is open carrying what could only be a python. There is no way that is not a .357 revolver.
That's amazing.
KMJ News now.
It's 3:30 in Fresno. I'm Joe Miller. In the KMJ News Center, Fresno officers said to be doing well after being involved in a crash during a chase this morning. Officers attempted to conduct a traffic stop near McKinley and Highway 168, but the driver failed to stop, then ran a red light. A second car coming off the McKinley off-ramp collided with a police cruiser as they tried to follow the original suspect. No other injuries reported. The original driver got away. A motorcyclist killed in an accident last week in Fresno identified. Coroner's office confirmed the victim to be 45-year-old Kenneth Donald of Sanger. He was headed westbound on Jensen Avenue Friday when a car making a left turn on Armstrong Avenue hit him. Life-saving measures were attempted by Fresno police officers, but Donald died at the scene. The investigation continues. Fresno County Sheriff's Office has just updated 2 separate cases that are now one large investigation. Here's KMJ's Liz Kern with more.
Fresno County Sheriff-elect John Zanoni says 23-year-old Dennis Hapawana, who was shot and killed by deputies at the beginning of this month, was connected to a homicide in November.
We believe, based on the evidence that we've collected, that he is also responsible for the shooting death of 44-year-old Amanda Berry of Fresno.
That deadly shooting on November 17th. Hapawana tried to damage a cell phone tower when 44-year-old Amanda Berry came out to investigate. He shot her dead with an unregistered ghost gun. On December 6th, Hapawana was killed in a standoff with deputies at his home near Belmont and DeWolf. Zanoni says that Hapawana used a cordless grinder to make a propane tank explode. They connected the grinder and the rounds from the ghost gun to Berry's shooting in November. Zanoni says Hapawana suffered from mental health issues. Liz Kern, KMJ News.
Now the forecast from Fox 26's Alexis Govea.
Happy Friday Eve. I'm Alexis Govea from the Fox 26 Weather Center. This morning we experienced dense fog in the Central Valley, but it cleared up around the 11 o'clock hour this morning. Let's take a look now at your high and low for Fresno today. Your high will be 53 degrees and your low will be 39 degrees. From the Fox 26 Weather Center, I'm Alexis Govea for KMJ News. Have a great day and drive safe.
With news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com, I'm Joe Miller for News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
In Kerman, 2100 block of State Route 145 near Madera Avenue, got an injury accident being reported and some road blockage as well. Then to Kingsburg, East Mountain View at South Mendocino, got a hit-and-run non-injury accident there. And Visalia, State Route 137 at Road 140, got a collision with some unknown injuries. In Madera on Avenue 12 by southbound 99, there is slow traffic. No accident, just some slow traffic. Next update, 347. I'm Greg Lane with KMJ Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the California Office of Traffic Safety and Caltrans. Having a drink or two during the holidays? Leave the keys behind and plan a sober ride home. Cheers to choosing a safer way to go. Whatever you do, don't let drunk drive. Go safely, California, from the California Office of Traffic Safety and Caltrans.
The elves at Willow Gardens Nursery have been busy as they've stocked their holiday boutique with one-of-a-kind Christmas gifts, Christmas floral, ribbon, ornaments, and beautiful Christmas decor. Located at Willow and International in Clovis, Willow Gardens also has what your garden needs with an incredible selection of winter shrub and trees like gardenias, camellias and azaleas, or Korean sun-pear trees and purple hopseed bush. Get in the spirit this holiday season and shop Willow Gardens. Open 7 days a week, they deliver, plus they give 10% off for veterans and seniors. Some exclusions may apply.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
The final days of Winterfest are here at Lowe's. Save now before they're gone. Need a few last-minute gifts that are perfect for the DIYers on your list? And maybe even a few for yourself? Get up to 50% off select tools, accessories, and smart home products from the top brands you love. Shop these savings and more during Winterfest only at Lowe's. Valid through 12/24 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
We do not have a homeless crisis. We have a poverty crisis.
a trauma crisis, an addiction crisis, an abuse crisis. We have my dad introduced me to meth at the age of 12, and I've been hooked on it ever since crisis. We have I have been trafficked since I was 15 years old crisis. We have I didn't choose this life crisis.
Give hope. Give to the Fresno Mission.
This report is sponsored by In-N-Out Burger.
At In-N-Out, our hamburgers are made with the highest quality ingredients, made fresh and by hand, made with a smile, and made to order just for you.
Tradition, a treasure that lasts for generations. An ice sparkling gift for Christmas is a great tradition.
I'm Ara Carcasian. Our tradition of the best selection, value, and real customer service continues.
Ara Carcasian Jewelers, northeast corner of Bullard and West.
Now, the Valley's Afternoon Drive with Philip Teresi. Your calls, your tweets, and your voice are welcome.
337 at News Talk 580, 1059 KMJ. That's Joe Basil. I'm Philip Teresi. Phones are open for your calls. 490-5858 or 800-776-5858. So a little bit earlier, we were talking about testimony from Sean Hannity and other Fox employees in the form of depositions in the $1.6 billion defamation suit against Fox News by Dominion Voting Systems. A consequence of the choice of Fox News to put people like Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani on the air, claiming that there was stuff that was, to my mind, at least compelling and worthy of examination, like the possibility that you might have some sort of algorithmic manipulation in play.
Sure. I mean, first of all, they're coming from people we trust. So, of course, when they're saying, meaning like Donald Trump at the time when he's president, I mean, it's not from a zero authoritarian position. So you at least want to consider it.
Then there was the wackaloon stuff, like Sidney Powell's insistence that there was a dead Venezuelan dictator and the Chinese Communist Party actually controlling Dominion Voting Systems, which I think is based in Canada. And so you had this gamut of plausible but unproven and unsubstantiated claims all the way out to just pure bat guano lunacy from a couple of people who are now, I mean, Rudy Giuliani, the New York bar has voted to revoke his bar card. The man who was once America's mayor's legacy has become horribly tarnished by the big lie. And I think Sidney Powell was always nuts. Just to be fair there. But now you're seeing these disclosures, and it wasn't just Hannity. It was folks up and down the food chain inside of News Corp.
I just like talking about all stuff. Hannity was fired, correct?
No.
So this is Hannity as an employee saying this.
Yeah.
Currently, that's why I was asking. This is why I'm asking, right? So Hannity as an employee with complete motive then to say things that defends Fox, but goes on record and says, no, I believe this was always a lie, and yet I still reported it.
Yeah, there's one woman, Meade Cooper. She oversees primetime programming for Fox News, so that whole slate.
Yeah.
And again, what she's overseeing from a rating standpoint is successful, unlike anything in the history of television news, or at least cable television news, including the Tucker Carlson program. And Shackelford, one of the attorneys for Dominion, talks about how Carlson had tried to kind of squirm out of acknowledging that they knew that these stories, these allegations against Dominion were lies.
But didn't get a direct quote from him. I noticed they quoted him saying that Tucker Carlson squirmed, but didn't actually quote Tucker Carlson. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, Shackelford had started to elaborate about what Carlson said privately in the deposition, telling the judge about the existence of text messages that Carlson had sent in November and December of 20, but the judge cut him off, so that was...
It's not for public record at this point yet.
And of course, a spokeswoman for Fox News has declined to comment on this. Here's I think that this is one of those things that goes misunderstood in the way that people consume news as entertainment. And I've started referring to all of the 24-hour news networks as infotainment because they take the news and then immediately spin it to whatever their respective audiences want to hear.
100%. I've actually heard Rush Limbaugh talk about these. I'm an entertainer first.
How many times did Rush say it?
All the time. He's like, what are you getting mad about? This is entertainment.
I'm not a journalist. I am not an impartial observer. I am not Warren Cronkite. I'm a song and dance man. I'm an entertainer. Over and over and over. Limbaugh probably said something more or less to the letter every week of his broadcast career.
I barely listened to the guy, and I heard him say it.
This is one of the pieces that I think that I think that the people, we the people, and I know I'm standing here on a conservative news talk station saying this, but I'm not pulling my own covers here. And if any of you have any doubt that I have at least attempted to maintain something resembling an honest and independent perspective, go to my Facebook wall and see how many people call me a libtard, and then go see how many more people have called me a fascist. I get crap from both sides because I don't like lying. And it's cost me sometimes.
Yeah.
Talk show hosts have a job. It is not to be journalists. It is not to be news anchors. Whether it's Joe and I right here on little old KMJ, coming up on our 101st year of service to Central California, or it's the ratings juggernaut that is the Fox News primetime lineup, or it is the massively more successful that I'm going to be, Anderson Cooper.
Right.
Any of them. Our job is to entertain you well enough to get you to stay here for one more commercial break. The number one metric that every single one of us is judged on, me, Joe, Sean Hannity, Anderson Cooper, Rachel Maddow, all of us, the number one metric that we are judged on is the number of people who watch. How many people tune in? The number two metric, and it's actually the component that we use to then make up the so-called ratings. Mm-hmm. Well, not we, it's Nielsen Audio in the case of what we're doing. The other component, the thing that decides what our rating is time spent for us listening, for them watching.
Yeah.
How long do you stay with us? Because if you just bounce in and out, if you're here for 5 minutes and you're gone, you almost don't exist in terms of what advertisers are looking for.
And that's true, by the way, social media, YouTube, everyone. Length of time on, it's a standard metric everywhere.
Because our job is to get you to stick around. We want to entertain you. We want to inform you. At least I do. I want to entertain. I want to inform. I want to engage. I want people to call. This is a hell of a lot more fun than setting tile. Oh, my God. I'd rather do this than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm paid to do is get you guys to stick around for one more commercial break. That is the job. For me, for Tucker Carlson, for Joe Basil, for Anderson Cooper. One more commercial break.
Which, by the way, this is very important. This is important to know this, laying this groundwork before you start evaluating what Hannity's saying, what Tucker Carlson's saying, because they're saying they believed it was good or bad, or the person was. Listen, do you know the easiest way to get a show on TV? Get a lunatic who believes what they're saying. It's the number one easiest way to get them on there, because then they're saying, like, well, they believe it. That's really all I got to tell you. I'm bringing them on for that.
Authenticity sells. Absolutely, it does. But the truth is that when you go into news as entertainment, when you go into talk shows, I'm not talking about serious people discussing the who, what, where, when, and how.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about long-form editorial content.
Yeah.
I believe very sincerely that more than 50% of the people who do what we do and what they do on the 24-hour infotainment channels, more than 50% interview guests, communicate with callers, and offer opinions about events and circumstances that they do not believe, that they laugh at behind closed doors, and that they only treat as though worthy of consideration or worthy of elevation to the public sphere because they know it will generate clicks, listens, views.
I don't think you get to that level where the amount of money is being thrown around on CNN, MSNBC, and Fox where you're not asked to do that. I think you're asked to take positions to talk through and work through that are not your own because that's more interesting. So I see it that way. I totally get it. And on a very small level, when I'm having a conversation with you, I might take an opposite position just because I'm interested. So on a very tiny level, and the more the money's there, the bigger that gets.
Well, and you and I taking a congenial but opposing view of whether or not Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Nobody is going to fail to vaccinate a child.
True.
Because one of us believes that Christmas doesn't really start until Hans Gruber falls off Nakatomi Plaza.
They should believe that, though, because that's accurate.
Every Christmas Eve.
And I do think the idea that you would tune into Fox or CNN to find out whether or not you should get vaccinated is insane.
But people do because they
wild.
Because they think that they are getting the news.
Yeah.
And I know that that's not the case with everybody who's watching it, but it is the case with a significant percentage. And then there's the flip side of what drives this. And that's the part that I think really people are going to treat what Sean Hannity said in this trial, in this deposition, as a scandal. And what Sean Hannity did is Sean Hannity, under oath, answered a question honestly.
Yeah.
But it's the other side, because getting mad at him, blaming him, he's only a third of the equation at the most. It's the Afternoon Drive at News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
Drinking Jack Daniels while getting a back rub. Ooh. Little gold chains clip the brass nipple ring. These are a few of my favorite things.
In Hanford, eastbound 198 between 12th and 11th. Got a non-injury accident reported by Celia, State Route 137, Road 140. A collision, unknown injuries at this point. In Kingsburg on East Mountain View at South Mendocino. Hit and run, non-injury accident in Kerman, 2100 block of State Route 145 near Madera Avenue. They're dealing with an injury accident. Next update is at 4:03. I'm Greg Lane with KMJ Traffic.
This report is sponsored by In-N-Out Burger.
At In-N-Out, our hamburgers are made with the highest quality ingredients, made fresh and by hand, made with a smile, and made to order just for you.
The ag industry is built on trust and relationships. Don York, KMJ Ag Director, is sharing details about the Ag Center. The Ag Center was founded by farmers for farmers with the principle of no growers left behind. The Ag Center's mission is to connect with farmers of all sizes, bringing the best resources the industry offers. From field services to ag tech, even innovative products and consulting, the Ag Center has you covered. Call or visit the website at agcenter.com to connect and grow.
This holiday season, the best gift is the peace of mind you get from protecting yourself and your loved ones from COVID-19. There's an updated COVID-19 vaccine that helps protect against the newer variants. If you are older or have a chronic condition, you are at greater risk. If it's been more than 2 months since your last shot, or 3 months since you had COVID, you should get the shot. It's easy and free to you. Learn more at covidvaccineproject.org. That's covidvaccineproject.org.
Thomason Tractor Company and Fireball's holiday sale is going on now through December 23rd. You can save up to 75% off some March items. Anything John Deere they have, from the John Deere compact utility tractors to a large showroom with parts, toys, hats, safes, and apparel for the entire family. They are now a full area dealer with boots and clothing. Come in today for all of your holiday needs. Family owned and operated for over 55 years. Thomason Tractor Company and Fireball, where superior service is standard equipment. See dealer for details.
Hi, I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Ben. Choosing the best mattress can be difficult, but one company has made it easy: Clovis Mattress. We've created a simple lineup of mattresses to suit all budgets and, more importantly, all sleeping styles.
But the best part is, all our mattresses are made right here in the Central Valley. We still use traditional techniques and the finest materials, but now every mattress we sell directly benefits the local community.
But that's not the only difference. At Clovis Mattress, we are open by appointment only. Why? Because we want every customer to get the royal treatment, so we can guide you through our amazing collection with no hard sell, no distractions, just the right information to help you find your perfect mattress.
So call Clovis Mattress today, 559-500-2222, or visit clovismattress.com. Again, that's clovismattress.com to book your appointment and secure free delivery from now until January 2023.
Buy local, support local at Clovis Mattress.
It's the end of the year, and you know what that means. Huge year-end savings at Clovis Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The end of the year is the best time to save during our Big Finish sales event. Take $1,000 off MSRP on a new Jeep Wrangler 4xE. Purchase by the year end and get a $7,500 tax credit from the federal government. And we've got a great selection of rugged, tough Ram trucks. Take $3,500 off on select new Ram 1500 Bighorn crew cabs. See why more people than ever are switching to Ram. Or get $2,000 off a new Jeep Grand Cherokee L Limited Edition, the most awarded SUV ever. At Clovis Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, we're making room for new inventory, and it's your chance to save. Experience the Clovis difference. Our award-winning customer service and knowledgeable staff get you in and get you back on the road fast. Shop local and save during the Big Finish sales event now through December 31st. And happy holidays from Clovis Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on the corner of Peach and Herndon and Clovis, and online at clovischrysler.com. Offer expires 12/31/22.
Did you know the best time of year to buy a car is December through mid-January? It's true. Most people don't realize that Central Valley dealerships are wheeling and dealing at the end of the year. We know you've been wanting a new vehicle, and now is the best time to act. So visit your local Central Valley auto dealer this week and check out their inventory right now. They're ready and able to get you into that new vehicle you've been wanting, just in time for the new year. Happy holidays from your local Central Valley auto dealers.
Congratulations to KMJ's Morning News with Christopher Gabriel and Matt Ottstadt on winning the Business Journal's Award for Best Morning Show for a 6th consecutive year.
I'll have a blue Christmas without you.
I like this one.
Rolling up on 4 o'clock on your afternoon drive. It's Joe Basil and Philip Teresi on your afternoon drive. We were talking about this explosive testimony wherein Sean Hannity acknowledges that he does, in fact, know what's real and what's not. And I went a little bit longer than I meant to on the hammering home the point that the job of media is that specifically the 24-hour infotainment cycle. It's the function is not education or information. It's entertainment. It's retaining eyeballs, earballs, and clicks.
And I actually would say when I first got into the news world, this has not always been my thing like you.
Yeah.
I would, Lisa's like, read this news story. And I'd go, this isn't a news story, this is an op-ed. And as a person who didn't read the news, I said, all this language here is slanting me to a perspective or an opinion. I said, actually, to try and get pure news. So it's weird to me, because I'm not from this world, this is all new to me. It's weird to me that anybody would watch something like Hannity or Tucker Carlson and take any of that as objective truth or news, as opposed to a take on the news or what they believe to be true. And I mean that for CNN. I mean that for all those pieces like that.
One of the blessings of social media is that it has crystallized in much more quickly than Rachel Maddow or Chris Matthews or Don Lemon ever could have. We surround ourselves with what we want to see and hear. We don't want to be challenged. We don't want to be confronted with unpleasant things. We surround ourselves with like-minded people and easily digested perspectives. Seeking out challenging things is time-consuming and it is energy-consuming. And despite the fact that all of us live much softer lives than any generation that precedes us, we're not going to voluntarily burn calories on this stuff. Every one of these people is doing exactly what their customer has told them that they wanted to do.
Yep.
With those clicks, with those views. Proof positive, in my mind, that the issue here is not, in fact, some sort of bad faith on the part of Sean Hannity or Anderson Cooper or any of these people, but rather that they are following the dollar. The most vapid, useless, pointlessly famous person that I can think of is Kim Kardashian. Never met her, don't know her. I've heard she's a nice lady, but I have no actual opinion of the human being. Kim Kardashian made a sex tape with a Z-list actor and parlayed it into international superstardom. TV shows, clothing lines. You know what Kim Kardashian's net worth is?
It's in the billions, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is. $1.8 billion.
Yeah.
The market rewards what the market rewards, and Kim Kardashian will keep doing what she do as long as that bank balance keeps swelling, as will all of the infotainment networks.
Yeah.
Some of this is on us for not demanding better.
It's a lot on us.
Well, most of it's on us. News Talk 580, 105.9, KMJ Worldwide. Listen at kmjnow.com.
Missed part of the show? Get the Afternoon Drive podcast at kmjnow.com or by searching KMJ's Afternoon Drive in Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Buildings Unlimited will be celebrating 20 years serving Central California and the West Side. Buildings Unlimited, specializing in concrete tilt warehousing, cold storage, processing facilities, and commercial pre-engineered metal buildings. Buildings Unlimited is your single point of contact from design to the completion, proudly featuring new core steel, manufactured in the USA. Buildings Unlimited, where the only limit is your imagination. Call our experienced team for a free consultation at 559-485-9948 or visit us at buildingsunlimited.net.
Chris Moran with a major solar industry update. So, Chris, what makes this update so urgent?
The state of California has released a decision that will cut the savings from a new solar system by 75%. It's called NEM 3.0. Luckily, anyone who already has solar under NEM 2.0 will be locked in under the current benefits. But anyone who goes solar after April will do so under the new program, which honestly isn't great.
So, what should people do?
Well, for anyone listening, if you've been considering solar, now really is the time. Many people will regret not getting their system installed before these changes go into effect. And once April comes, it'll be too late.
And since Solar Negotiators is the only contractor to provide lifetime maintenance and no true-up monitoring, people can make the right choice. Lock in your project now with Solar Negotiators powered by Solar Maintenance Pros, your lifetime energy partner.
Getting an education is a serious business. Paying for one takes some serious money. At LPL Financial, we understand that putting a child through college takes thoughtful, professional, and personal planning. You can reach me, Tom Diaz, by phone at 559-878-4623. Give me a call, and we can talk through your financial goals and answer questions you may have.
Thomas Diaz is a registered representative with, and securities and advisory services are offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA, SIPC.
Hey, you got a tickle in your schnoz? Call Dr. Boz. Click BozAllergy.com. Boz, B-A-Z. BozAllergy.com.
News Talk 580 AM 105.9 FM KMJ Fresno, a Cumulus Media station.
KMJ.
It's 4 o'clock in Fresno. I'm Jim Miller in the KMJ News Center. The driver of the car that struck a Hoover High student who later died has been charged. 15-year-old Rashawn Al-Hakim Jr. struck by a car October 4 crossing the street near Hoover High outside the crosswalk at First and Barstow. At about 6 that night, he was found in the middle of the road. Today, Fresno County DA's office filed a murder charge against 39-year-old Lisa Ellen Spores, a graduate teaching assistant at Fresno State. Spores tried to call 911 after the collision but couldn't get through. She met police at First and Bullard, where officers performed a sobriety test. A toxicology report showed Spores had illegal and prescription drugs in her system at the time of the crash. People across California now are saying their state inflation relief debt cards are being drained of money. Here's ABC 10's Morgan Reinor.
Roxanne Martinez and her husband got $700 on a debit card. The first thing the Crows Landing couple did, paid for their car registration with the DMV.
And I went to use it again, and it got denied.
The remaining $500 gone. Republican Assemblymember Jim Patterson said his constituents have been contacting his office with similar issues.
Unfortunately, when we try to reach the Franchise Tax Board, we are not getting responses. If I can't reach them, my goodness, our constituents are going to have a hard time reaching them.
He is comparing this to how the state handled the unemployment fraud.
It is almost like their business plan includes the acceptance of a certain amount of fraud.
Fresno police investigating after a body found after a shed fire in Fresno. They said crews found the remains as they were putting out fire near C Street in Stanislaus yesterday morning. They say a body found after the fire was extinguished. The Senate approving nearly $1.8 trillion in government spending to help avoid a shutdown. Bill includes $45 billion in military and economic aid. It'll also eventually end the vaccine mandate for the U.S. military. ABC's Louise Martinez reports from the Pentagon.
It is going to call for repeal of the vaccine mandate here among the U.S. military. That's pretty significant, and the word is that when President Biden signs that the Pentagon is going to have to follow through. It won't mean that U.S. service members who were booted out over the last year because they declined or refused to take the vaccine will be reinstated. It just means that the vaccine is no longer going to be mandated for personnel in the future.
Now the forecast from Fox 26's Alexis Govea.
Happy Friday Eve. I'm Alexis Govea from the Fox 26 Weather Center. This morning we experienced dense fog in the Central Valley, but it cleared up around the 11 o'clock hour this morning. Let's take a look now at your high and low for Fresno today. Your high will be 53 degrees and your low will be 39 degrees. From the Fox 26 Weather Center, I'm Alexis Govea for KMJ News. Have a great day and drive safe.
With news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com, I'm Joe Miller for News Talk 580, 1059 KMJ.
In Kingsburg on East Mountain View at South Mendocino, got a hit-and-run non-injury accident there. Also, on the 3400 block of West Franklin Avenue, a collision in Fresno. Also, we have in Visalia on Oak Avenue at Palm, another non-injury accident there as well. And finally, in Hanford on eastbound 198 at 12th Avenue, have a non-injury accident to report. Next update, 417. I'm Greg Lane with KMJ Traffic.
Make the season bright with the $550,000 Holiday Dash for Cash giveaway. Come out on Friday, December 23rd for the grand finale to win your share of $90,000 cash only at Chukchansi Gold Resort and Casino. Now, the Valley's Afternoon Drive with Philip Teresi. Your calls, your tweets, and your voice are welcome.
You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
4:05 on your afternoon drive. It's News Talk 580. 1059 KMJ. Joe Basil, Philip Teresi. Your calls at 490-5858 and toll-free 800-776-5858.
You never said which Christmas movie makes you run out of the room.
Elf.
What?
Cannot abide it.
Okay, I know we're doing movies tomorrow, but give me snippets of why Elf. Is it amount of seeing it too much? Is it the world's being enamored with it, or are there actual problems with the film?
The only scene in the entire movie that doesn't make me want to physically attack my television and or rupture my own eardrums is the "Aren't you an angry elf?" exchange with Peter Dinklage.
Okay, so Peter Dinklage gets some, because he's obviously one of the best actors on the planet right now. So,
well, he's one of the best actors on the planet, and even before I knew who Peter Dinklage was, when he was just the little person playing that scene. It made me happy to see somebody hurt Buddy the Elf.
Really?
I hate that movie. I hate that character. The whole thing just like bordering on nosebleed level irritation.
That's from the get-go. First time he saw it, didn't like it.
I have with Will Ferrell when he nails it, when he gets it right, and he's really, really funny. Love it. Perfect example of Will Ferrell nailing it. Anchorman.
Yeah.
I think Anchorman is in a class of comedy in that same realm as like Animal House and Caddyshack. Like someday it will be fairly judged as being in that pantheon. Elf is obnoxious and I hate it. I don't understand why everybody's so in love with it. It's not funny. It's not cheerful. I understand exactly what, Dad, what was, I'm forgetting his name, the actor that plays Dad.
Oh, yeah, Bob Newhart?
No, not his dad at the North Pole, his real father down here.
Don't know.
Oh, from The Godfather, James Caan.
Oh, okay.
I understand exactly why every interview he did, it was through gritted teeth.
I mean, James Caan is my people, and that's just, I think gritted teeth is the Italian way in general, and anything that's not, mobbish, all mobbed up. Okay, first of all, I think that Elf is brilliant. I've had enough of it. I've had enough. I think this goes back to if you haven't listened to the podcast, go to kmjnow.com. That's where you can listen to podcasts and listen to the previous hours, because we had a discussion about Charlie Brown that I think is appropriate in this conversation.
Sure.
Because I said I didn't like Charlie Brown because it was depressing. Everything went wrong to the very last minute, and then it kind of went right. Elf, and so you're like, no, that makes sense. The relatable, you brought up, Greatest Generation all the time. It made sense to you. And I'm like, okay, that's fair from that perspective. I'm bouncing off the walls, 7-year-old, happy, joy. Elf comes along, and she's like, do you like syrup? He goes, I don't know. Is there sugar in it? He goes, there's sugar in it. And he goes, then yes. That alone summarizes my kindred spirit to Elf. The joy, the happiness, the silliness, the comedy, all of that is, and he's kind of the other way, opposite of Charlie Brown, where he's falling forward and things just keep working out. He has a couple of, moments, but in reality he just keeps falling forward innocently, and it's adorable.
I would never assume to tell anybody else what they should or should not enjoy.
Well, we kind of do. We're on radio.
Well, I mean, I'll share my opinion, and,
sure.
and if you agree with me about many things, you may agree with me about a few more.
Sure.
But if it brings you joy, I encourage you, go watch it. I hope that you have a wonderful Merry Christmas with your family, and that you all laugh your way through it.
That feels like God bless your heart, which is a way to screw off. That's like screw off. I hope you have a Merry Christmas watching that piece of crap film.
But I'm judging you a little bit.
Yeah, you should.
I'm judging.
I feel like that's right.
People are entitled to enjoy what they enjoy. It's just one of those movies. I cannot get into it.
I get it. I can see. You are one of the few I've ever heard say they didn't like that film. I'm one of the people who's just like, take it down one notch now. I mean, when it first came out, it was like, wow, it's amazing. Now I'm like, okay. I mean, like I actually think Elf may not be an every Christmas movie for me. Something like I'd actually watch Jingle All the Way every Christmas, or Scrooged every Christmas, or
I have
Miracle on
managed
34th Street.
to not see Jingle All the Way ever. It's just one of those things. I just haven't seen it.
You're not missing out. Let me just tell you, it's more nostalgic than gold. But that Elf is one of those ones where I'm like, I want to see It's a Wonderful Life for Christmas. I want to see A Christmas Story. I like the sequel to A Christmas Story. That was fine. But I don't know if it's necessarily every Christmas movie for me at this point, like it is for everybody else.
Scrooged, Bill Murray.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, no. Is that part of the annual rotation?
Top 5. Owned it. It was back when you'd own movies.
Yeah.
Back like VHS, then on DVD. Back when you owned it, it's at least in the top 5 for me. Some of the best one-liners are in that movie for Christmas.
Agreed. I somewhere I actually think I still have the DVD of it, although I've also got it on digital now. My My oldest child checking in via text message right now. Somebody waited until December 22nd at 4:11 p.m. to start Christmas shopping for his mother.
Yay! Well, I love that you're like, look. I'm like, I'm glad he's doing it.
I'm glad he's doing it, but Buddy, okay, hang on.
Buddy the Elf?
No, my son.
Oh, because I know you love that movie.
Does.
How many Elf T-shirts? What's your size in an Elf T-shirt? Maybe if I sing a Christmas song, like in the movie, you'll be happy. Like everybody do me a favor and text Philip your favorite Elf quotes. Just let him know. Encourage him.
It just does nothing for me. It's not that I am. It's not that I hate Christmas. It's not that I hate Santa Claus. And there's things about Will Ferrell's career that I love. It's just that movie. Everything about it just sets my teeth on edge. Okay, how about this? Love Actually.
Never saw it.
It is the most English family Christmas adjacent movie because it all takes place at Christmas time, but I would not really call it a Christmas movie. There is no point at which where jolly old Saint Nick or any reindeer are going to get involved as an essential plot element.
That's like every Harry Potter. Every Harry Potter was released at Christmas, so they have a Christmas scene, and so we actually watched it at Christmas.
Yeah, that was same in my household. My wife, every year I'm going to watch it. And it's just so English.
And which I love that, except for not English romances or even like rom-coms. They're not as good for me, but I love English stuff. Not that. So no, actually didn't love it.
Okay, go into the other end of the spectrum. Bad Santa.
Loved it, actually. We only saw it a couple years ago for the first time, and I actually thought it was pretty great, to the point where we watched Bad Santa 2 because we enjoyed 1 so much. So I thought it was pretty funny. I'm also a Billy Bob Thornton fan.
I haven't watched Bad Santa 2. I liked the first one. I got a laugh out of it. I think I've seen it twice, and I've probably seen it enough.
Yeah.
Except for the scene where what's her name? Gilmore.
I was just going to say Gilmore Girl lady. 'Twas the Night Before. The Night Before, I think it's called. That is Seth Rogen, I want to say.
Oh, yeah.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt and
there was a minute where that like Seth Rogen one step off of the Kevin Smith sort of vibe where that really worked for me.
Yeah.
I watched This Is the End twice.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I watched it, I laughed really hard. The second time I watched it, I realized that the title was a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't hate the guy, and if he puts out something new that's worthy of consideration, I absolutely will.
Yeah.
But that whole kind of ecosystem that he built,
Neighbors, I'm with you. The jokes aren't that new. Added the Christmas element, it's surprisingly enjoyable. I watched it last year again. I was like, you know what? This actually has because it's really more about Joseph Gordon-Levitt in this film.
Yeah.
But I like the little secret things you might not know, like movies that people don't watch as much at Christmas, and that's a fun one, along with 8 Crazy Nights. I think it's an underrated animated Christmas film, or Hanukkah film.
I need to go back and watch that because I remember seeing it and thinking, oh, good, finally somebody has created a like family-friendly, marketable Hanukkah movie.
Yeah.
And I just didn't watch it because everything else that's going on this time of year.
Right.
How about the Mel Gibson Fat Man? That came out on Netflix, I think last year or the year before.
Never saw it. Never even heard of it.
Very dark, very grim. At some point, there is an active defense of the North Pole that looks like something out of.
I did see the clip of this.
Yeah.
It's something out of, believe it or not, out of Jingle All the Way, because Jingle All the Way opens with Lee Majors.
That's Scrooged.
Scrooged. Thank you. You're right. I'm right. It's like right out of that, like Lee Majors defending the North Pole. By the way, my friends finding out I was on KMJ today were very disappointed because they wanted all of us go see Violent Night. Have you seen the trailer for this?
I don't think I've seen that.
This is from the dad, the sheriff from Stranger Things is Santa,
Oh, no, I take it back. I did. I saw that trailer.
That looks fantastic.
I think that it is based on I think it's a Warren Ellis comic. And for the life of me, I can't remember if it's Warren Ellis or if it's Derek Robertson, but it was a graphic novel that was put together. And I'm good with a little bit of playing with the Santa character.
Yeah.
So the borderline omniscient, nearly eternal bringer of presence and joy doesn't need me to defend him from movie producers. Hence, being able to enjoy Bad Santa, being able to enjoy Fat Man. If it's and I need to look and see, and I will before I buy a ticket. If it's based on the comic that I think it's based on, I'll probably hate it because it goes like so far out into just lunacy and violence for the sake of lunacy and violence.
This is that he is hesitant, but then it becomes fun to him, at least in the trailer. By the way, Lisa texted us, and she said, "The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear." That's a elf quote for you. She cares about you and your Christmas soul.
Your wife's a very sweet lady, and I appreciate that she's listening to us. I'm good with, again, anybody watching what they want to watch. But I think one of the best jokes out of this season of Rick and Morty really does go back to one character in particular's enjoyment of Miracle on 34th Street.
Jerry, it was great. I watched it last night.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So I won't spoil it for anybody who somehow is 2 weeks behind on Rick and Morty. But there is a reference to the love of nostalgic black and white, old Hollywood Christmas films.
Oh, it's so good.
And it respectfully acknowledges that at a certain point, we're just there to get the vibe. We're not really watching the movie.
Right.
You just need to hear somebody say, every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
Let's be honest. That's a little bit of dopamine. I'm with you.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as Christmas movies, is there anything that you're putting on the ban list at home? Phone calls on the other side, 490-5858 or 800-776-5858. Darren, I see you there. We'll grab your call in just a minute on KMJ.
Later we'll have some pumpkin pie and we'll do some caroling.
Did you hear it that time?
You will get a sentimental.
3400 block of Franklin Avenue, there is a crash being reported in Fresno, and then Powerhouse Road at Wish-Iya Road in Auberry. Collision up there with some road blockage. Visalia westbound 198 at Farmersville got a collision there, and another one in Visalia Oak Avenue at Palm, a non-injury accident. Next update, 4:33. I'm Greg Lane with KMJ Traffic.
Sunnyside Deli is more than just an award-winning sandwich shop. We also do amazing catering for any size event. Our team will put together something you will love for small, intimate gatherings to 100-person events. So, this holiday season, if your group just needs to nibble or needs a full-blown feast, remember Sunnyside Deli. Plus, we do game day catering, charcuterie boards, appetizers, sandwiches, and even full take-home dinners. With questions or catering inquiries, call 559-252-3338 to speak to one of our friendly staff members. Or stop by for lunch. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. with happy hour, Thursdays and Fridays from 4 to 8 p.m. with $2 off all beer and sandwiches. Stop in on Thursdays, we have tri-tip all day, and every Friday evening we have live music. Family-owned Sunnyside Deli is located on Kings Canyon between Fowler and Clovis. Connect with us on Facebook and Instagram or visit us at sunnysidedelicatessen.com.
Right now, Sunnyside Delicatessen is offering a $50 gift card for just $25. Limited number available, and this sweet deal won't last long. Go to kmjnow.com and click on Sweet Deals. On sale this Friday, 9 a.m.
Inflation goes up. Do you feel like you need to refinance your car to fill up the gas tank? What if 2 years ago, someone offered to sell you a lifetime supply of gas at $2.75 a gallon, but you told them no? Today, you would be kicking yourself. Right now, Planet Solar has that same offer for you on your electric bill. As inflation goes up, so does your utility bill. Lock in your energy prices today with a new Planet Solar system. Planet Solar is locally owned and operated in Clovis. They're big enough to offer you all the best brands and in-house financing, but small enough to give you the personal service you deserve. Call Planet Solar to find out how to lock in your electricity costs today. You'll be glad you did. Call them at 559-228-9245 or find them on the web at planetsolar.com. That's 228-9245 or planetsolar.com. License number 938313.
Mike Sherinian, owner of the Elbow Room.
To get the greatest deal in town, you got to come to the Elbow Room or Riley's Brew Pub to get gift cards, because for every $50 gift card that you buy, you get a $10 additional card to be used from January through next June. And then if you buy a $100 gift card, you get a $20 bonus card to be used for food and beverage.
Give something unforgettable this season with custom holiday gift baskets from the Elbow Room Market. Choose from artisan foods, kitchen and bath items, specialty wines and spirits, and build your own baskets. Or let our basket artists create a themed masterpiece, perfect for individual or corporate holiday gifts. Only at the Elbow Room Market.
So, hurry in and get those gift cards, and it's just a great way to maximize your value.
The Elbow Room in Fig Garden Village. Call 227-1234 to make your reservations.
Treat yourself to something great.
You can't always invite everyone to your holiday table, but you can give the perfect gift. And for some, the perfect gift is a meal on the table. By donating just $1, Central California Food Bank can provide up to 4 meals for those experiencing hunger in Central California. Donate now at ccfoodbank.org.
Think you have a good reason for not donating blood?
I don't have any blood to spare.
Fact. Your body is constantly manufacturing blood. And since you won't be eligible to donate again for 56 days, your body will completely replace your generous donation. There's no excuse for not helping make sure that the Central California Blood Center always has an adequate supply of blood available for your family, friends, and neighbors. Be the bigger person. Go to donateblood.org now to make an appointment.
Did you know there's a conservative advocacy and benefits organization with over 2 million members and counting? It's AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. Hi, this is Mary Walter. Here are 3 reasons why you should consider joining AMAC right now. First, AMAC saves you money, from discounts on travel and lodging, cell phones and plans, access to insurance products, and more. Joining AMAC is a powerful tool against inflation. Second, with a bi-monthly magazine, daily website content, podcasts with America's thought leaders, and an app that delivers insightful coverage of the issues that matter most, AMAC is a trusted source of information. And third, the reason that people say is their favorite, is that AMAC fights for your conservative values on Capitol Hill. With more than 2 million members, AMAC is a voice that cannot be ignored, working tirelessly to preserve the freedoms secured by our Constitution. Go to amac.us/liberty and join today. That's amac.us/liberty. amac.us/liberty.
'Tis the season to dash for $550,000 cash. Win your share of $42,000 weekly at drawings every Thursday and Friday. It's the Holiday Dash for Cash giveaway now through December 23rd. Only at Chukchansi Gold Resort and Casino.
There's something stuck up in the chimney and I don't know what it is, but it's been there all night long. Well, I waited up for Santa all Christmas night, but he never came, and it don't seem right that there's something in the chimney and it doesn't make a sound, but I wish you a Merry Christmas.
I don't know this song.
Are you not familiar with this?
I do. I'm like Hippopotamus, Dominic the Donkey, not this. Is this actually a popular song? No way. This is like one note. There's a note here that's hurting my head. You're nodding your head to this, but don't like Elf. What is? Are you nodding because you see it's torturing me, or do you genuinely like this? Yeah, you. Now I know it's just torture. You just know I don't like it. It's good to be the boss and have control of that song. Oh, that kid is so cute. Will somebody please get his mom?
By the way, I want to say thank you because I think you are the first person I have heard reference Dominic the Italian Christmas Donkey in a very, very long time.
I love that song.
That is...
As a kid, I hated it because I felt like it was a weird way to represent my culture. And then as I got older, I'm like, it's kind of right on. Kind of at this, I'm done resisting it. That's kind of who we are.
So we call my oldest son Dominic. It's actually his middle name, but after my father, Dominic. Okay. And I had kind of forgotten that it existed. And it popped up somewhere, somehow, I think, thank you, Amazon Music. And my son was 3 years old when we rediscovered Dominic the Italian Christmas Donkey. He loved it. He would sing along. He would do the little clopping thing. He threw his heart and soul into Dominic the Italian Christmas Donkey until he was about 12 years old.
Yeah.
And then I think the song came on and his best friend was in the backseat of the car and my wife starts singing along. I thought he was going to garrote her from the back seat. I really thought that it was the end because Charlie was screaming, laughing at this song.
Yeah.
And my son now at 24 years old, a grown man who now professionally and academically goes by his given name. When Dominic the Italian Christmas Donkey comes on, you can actually see the tension headache start in his shoulders. It's so funny.
I'm with. So in Chicago, that's a popular song, but there's a massive Italian culture there, so it's not weird that it's on the radio. And as a kid, I had that because they were saying the Italian Christmas Donkey, the Italian. I'm like, oh man, I don't know. It just felt like it didn't represent me. Then the older I got, I'm like, this song is ridiculous and awesome. It's kind of just shifted the other way. I'm like, you know what? This is just a hilarious song. And I actually like talking about it more than I like hearing it. So it's more that.
And it's proof that the Italians, like the Irish, like the Mexicans, have arrived at a point in this strange cultural arc that is assimilating into American society where you realize, oh yeah, no, I can laugh at that.
Yeah.
Dominic the Italian Christmas Donkey, big laugh. Sopranos, love it. Hospitaliano, still not a word.
Hospitaliano. There's a story I've got about another Italian word that I can't tell you, but that's just a great tease.
Those are the best.
I don't know what to tell you, but that's a great story.
Darren, welcome to KMJ, sir. Good afternoon.
Okay, so I have one that my family is Italiano, like you gentlemen.
Okay.
So I have a question. We used to watch this. All the people that I used to watch this with have passed away now because I'm like, my grandfather. Have you guys ever seen 29th Street with Danny Aiello?
No.
Oh my God, you gotta watch that movie. You have to watch that movie, 1991. It's also, I think, takes place in Christmas. I haven't seen it in a few years. But it is awesome. Basically, it's based on a true story where this guy gets rushed to the hospital, and they end up saving his life. Anyway, he wins the lottery. It's a fantastic movie, and it has an Italian family in it. I can't believe neither one of you guys have not seen the movie.
I'd never even heard of it.
I've not heard of it either, and I actually like Danny Aiello.
No, you guys, I'll call you. Whenever you watch it, you're going to love it. It's based on a true story, too. So anyway, that's the movie that I loved because it was growing up. My family, my grandparents, we'd all watch it. Okay, so the movie I can't stand now is because my wife has seen this, bakes her cookies and pies on a loop to this movie.
Uh-huh.
And it's The Family Stone.
Yeah, I've never seen it. There was nothing about it that made me want to see it.
That's the one with Diane Keaton where her family all gets together.
Yep.
And, I mean, it's an okay movie, but my wife literally will put two movies on a loop. And put it this way, the two movies she watches on a loop are the original White Christmas with Bing Crosby and The Family Stone.
Yeah, The White Christmas is my wife's favorite movie, all Christmas movie all time.
I can easily watch that movie over The Family Stone over and over. I've seen them both equally, but if she says, which one do you not want? It's The Family. It's an okay movie, but it's just like, it's like I've seen it. You see it once, you've seen it enough, let alone 12, 15 times.
Right.
So that's the movie that I would not. But you guys really have to watch. And it's got Danny Aiello in it. It is funnier than hell, too. You will crack up, Phil.
Yeah, it's the most Italian-looking movie.
You looked it up already.
That I have seen. I mean, there is the cast list is just paisan after paisan, man.
That's what I'm telling you, and it's based on a true story by Frank Pesci, who was a cop. And the fact that it's a true story about Italians, and it's funnier than hell because like Anthony LaPaglia is like this want to get rich quick guy, and Danny Aiello is like got this little patch of lawn in his front lawn, and Anthony LaPaglia, he's going, how are you going to do that? How are you going to ever get a government job like that? You know, it's just you. When you see the movie, you'll start busting up. Like he thinks a government job is like the epiphany of the epitome of success.
That's
But anyway, watch that movie. You two guys, I can tell by what you're talking about. Both you're going to love it.
Darren,
thank you, Darren.
And when you watch it, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you,
Darren.
Darren.
It's his gift. I like that. It's very Italian of him. You're welcome. Prego. Prego.
Darren, great call, brother.
Did I tell you that when I was in Italy? Prego in Italian means you're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't put that together with the sauce until I'm in Italy and I'm there and everybody's a prego, you're welcome. And I said, oh my gosh, Prego sauce is telling all of us we're welcome. Who do they think they are? Here's our sauce, you're welcome. Oh no, we reject your welcome. And you should say you're sorry.
But that is a tip to the authenticity of the genesis of the sauce. Because now whatever it is, it's factory produced slop and no self-respecting Italian's going to eat it. Once upon a time, a real Italian was involved in that because only a real Italian would name their sauce that.
It's very Italian of us. Here's a piece of crap. A prego.
KMJ News now. It's 4:30 in Fresno. I'm Jim Miller in the KMJ News Center. An arrest has been made following the death of Selma High School student Reside at Mariscal. According to Selma police, 17-year-old Reside is struck by a car walking in a crosswalk near Floral Avenue and Wright Street on December the 8th. The teen was taken to Community Regional Medical Center with major injuries and later died on her 17th birthday. Officers say the driver involved in that fatal collision stayed behind and cooperated with police. Selma police, however, announced today that driver now faces several charges related to the incident. The driver, identified as 18-year-old Gabriel Basalto of Selma. The largest dam removal in U.S. history has just been approved. ABC's Dave Packer reports.
The Klamath River Hydroelectric Project is a series of dams along the river stretching from Oregon to Northern California. Built between 1903 and 1963, the dams have been blamed by local indigenous people for the destruction of salmon habitat and a reduction in water quality, both essential to the tribe's survival. Now, after a decades-long fight, the Federal Regulatory Commission giving final approval for the removal of 4 of the dams, restoring much of the river to its original free-flowing state. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Now the forecast from Fox 26's Alexis Govea.
I'm Alexis Govea from the Fox 26 Weather Center. Happy Thursday. This morning we experienced dense fog in the Central Valley, but it cleared up around the 11 o'clock hour this morning. Let's take a look now at your high and low. For Fresno today, we're looking at a high of 53 degrees, and your low will be 39 degrees. And that's a look at your weather for today. From the Fox 26 Weather Center, I'm Alexis Govea for KMJ News.
With news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com, I'm Jim Miller for News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
On North Chateau, Fresno at West Belmont, kind of hit and run non-injury accident. Also in Fresno, 3400 block of Franklin, got a collision there. In Aubury, Powerhouse Road at Wish I Am Road, there is a collision, and in Visalia, westbound 198 Plaza Avenue. Look out, car fire and lots of smoke. Next update is at 447. I'm Greg Lane with KMJ Traffic.
Make the season bright with the $550,000 Holiday Dash for Cash giveaway. Come out on Friday, December 23rd for the grand finale to win your share of $90,000 cash. Only at Chukchansi Gold Resort and Casino.
Recently, I had the dreaded COVID that I've been ducking for 2 years. The first time I've had it, and my God, it better be the only time because it was awful. As a patient of Dr. Boz at the Boz Allergy, Asthma, and Sinus Centers, he took care of me. And he took care of me Very well. But something else is now upon us that most of us deal with in this valley. It's fall. It's the allergies. It's asthma. It's sinus problems. They're already here. And shall I add to all of this really good news? Yeah, right. Good news tongue in cheek. Flu season. It's upon us. Get a flu shot, please. Something I do religiously every year. And I haven't grown another head. No worries there. Hey, the symptoms are common, coughing, wheezing, tightness in the chest, headache, and fever. And when that happens, it's the Boz Allergy, Asthma, and Sinus Centers, and they're everywhere. Click BozAllergy.com. Boz is B-A-Z. You'll find the nearest location to you. Then you can stop suffering. The Boz Allergy, Asthma, and Sinus Centers will make that diagnosis. They'll get it right, and they'll give you the proper treatment right now.
COVID vaccines just got a big update because updated vaccines now protect against both the original COVID virus and Omicron, and everyone 5 and older can get one.
Find updated COVID vaccines at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
As a California grower, you understand how essential water is to your crops. With Talatay by Valagro, you can increase crop water productivity. When applied to soil via irrigation, Talatay helps crops maximize water use by increasing the uptake of water and conserving water content inside plant tissue. Despite less than adequate water in the soil, crops can continue healthy growth and support high yields under water deficits. Visit valagrousa.com or call 559-287-7724 to learn more. Talatay, the value of every single drop.
I have to say this. I am personally astounded how the Glass Shop in Visalia continues to do everything right. They're making some amazing business decisions, and that's great for you. Okay, so what now? No tax whatsoever on any windows up until April 15th. That'll save you plenty right there, especially if you got a big job. No taxes. They'll front that bill with Uncle Sam. You don't worry about it. Next, Scott has become kind of a living legend in this business of windows and doors and all of this stuff. He needs a title, like, shall we call him the Wizard of Windows? When he comes to your home, he'll tell you before you even know what you need, and this is blowing people's minds. He'll tell you what type of window. He'll tell you what brand. Now, you ultimately make the decision, but this guy knows. And the Glass Shop has windows that have a double lifetime warranty. You sell your home, and whoever buys the home gets that warranty as well. And they'll get it done like in 3 to 4 weeks, where most companies take 2 to 3 months. Click theglassshop.com. It's that simple. The Glass Shop in Visalia. Click theglassshop.com. There you go. Tax-free, don't forget.
This report is sponsored by In-N-Out Burger.
At In-N-Out, our hamburgers are made with the highest quality ingredients, made fresh and by hand, made with a smile, and made to order just for you.
Teresi takes you home on News Talk 580 1059 KMJ.
.440 on your afternoon drive. It is News Talk 580 and 1059 KMJ. Thank you for the recommendation, Darren. I did put 29th Street on my my little reminder list. I'm going to check that out.
There you go.
Yeah, that boy. How many phone calls end with "You're welcome"? Click. Hey, the Valley Animal Center is putting the call out. They are they're in dire need of help here. Valley Animal Center, of course, the nonprofit no-kill adoption center. They have so here you go. If you want to help out, if you've heard this, they've got lists on standby. Kelly's Pets and Whitey's Pets. Or you can go to Amazon. They have an Amazon wish list set up. And so what I found is when you go through and you click on add to cart, it adds Valley Animal Center gift registry address as one of your ship to addresses.
Nice.
So you pick that. It doesn't actually give you the address as if though we can't go to their website and find their address. Some of the stuff on the list, there was, like I was trying to buy dry dog food this morning. It wouldn't let me ship dry dog food through the gift registry, but everything else that I added was fine.
Interesting.
So just keep in mind, like if you get that weird hiccup, like just skip it and just buy something else because any contribution at this point is going to help out.
Yeah, they're down to a week's worth of food. I mean, this is when they were saying dire. This isn't like, oh man, we're really like, no. It's a week's worth of food.
The Amazon wish list is what, aside from that one hiccup about not shipping certain things to the registry address, That was great. That was the easiest thing in the world for me, man. I paid for a fair portion of what I sent them with my Amazon Prime Visa reward points, so I wasn't out of pocket on it.
Oh, that's great.
So I know yesterday we were talking about the Fresno mission. We had Matt Dildine on, which, by the way, he actually came in and sat down with Christina and John this morning in studio. So if you missed our conversation or the conversation on Broski and Masson, either way, podcast, kmjnow.com. It's that time of year, and there's need out there. And I feel a lot better about giving my family the goodies and the baubles and the fun stuff, throwing a few bucks on the piles. So if you are so inclined, if you've got the ability to do so, whether you go to Kelly's and Whitey's or you go to Amazon, Valley Animal Center needs food badly.
I say this because I would tell people this all the time from a pulpit. I would say, listen, I promise you one of the best things you can do is give, and you don't have to give here. That's how I know it's true. I said, if you don't want to give to this church, give anywhere else. This will be good for you. There is some sort of power in humanity to not letting money run your life. And the number one way to not be consumed by money is to give it away. Yep. It's such an amazing statement to yourself that this is not all I live for. I promise your Christmas will be better if you bring blankets, bedding, pillows to the mission. That's not even money, and they genuinely need it.
Yeah.
You bring that to the mission, you'll have a better Christmas. If you give money to the mission, $18 pays for one person a night, $180. You got 10 people, you took care of them for the night. If you go on here right now and you help out Valley's Animal Center, if you go on to Amazon and you do that and you help these people who are literally living to help cats and dogs and animals, I mean, just literally some of the most altruistic, kind people in the world, you would be blessing some puppies and kittens, and just your Christmas will be better. I promise.
And I know that considering the amount of need that exists in the world, it frequently feels like a small thing when you hear dogs and cats. It's not small to them.
Yeah. And it's not small to the kid who's going to get one of these dogs or cats in the next upcoming week. Honestly, these it's for them and for the families they're going to bless.
Let me ask you about that, because that's one of those that's one of those often replayed moments in local media. It is definitely a trope in advertising. The opening of the big box under the Christmas tree that contains the beautiful new puppy dog or the beautiful little kitten.
I'm always like, how long's that dog been in there? That's my question all the time.
Right.
Poor dog.
I don't even know if I just assumed that you had the box like set up and that you just like put the puppy in there like right away.
I'm so morbid.
Like that you brought it out like the Red Ryder BB gun behind the tree kind of trick. Yeah. You're like, oh, look, here's one more we forgot about. And you literally put the dog in like a minute ago, because there's no way that a puppy hearing Christmas morning is going to sit quietly in a
everybody's opening their presents like, oh, we didn't hear the puppy. I'd be like, not a good sign. This is not a good sign.
Not an auspicious beginning. It makes for a beautiful moment. And I know that there's a lot of people who make that commitment and who go out and adopt a dog or a cat, knowing exactly what they're doing and understanding that if you're a parent and you buy a 6-year-old a puppy, you bought yourself a puppy.
Yeah.
And puppy duty and puppy food and puppy veterinary bills.
You gave yourself the gift of responsibility.
You gave yourself more chores. I love dogs. I love cats.
Yeah.
I've got 2 dogs, 1.5 cats, because one of my cats, I think, has moved to the neighbor's house and just shows up and steals food once in a while.
I thought of a different version of half, but that's good. Fine. No problem.
Yeah, he just, I think he likes Barb better.
You know what? And you're good with it. I could see it on your face. You're like, you're a little hurt.
He comes over once in a while. He says hello, and we're on good. I've told Barb, like, I'm more than happy to buy cat food, and she's like, well, apparently he likes what I'm buying, so okay. I live in one of those neighborhoods where everybody's really chill. I got a lot of retired folks around me, so it's very mellow.
That's nice.
Getting a puppy or a kitten, versus the and at some point every automobile dealer at some point has some variation of the out in the driveway and there's the new Lexus with the giant bow or the new truck with the giant ribbon across the hood.
Yeah, I'm with you.
In your household, which is more likely to cause a catastrophic fight with your spouse, taking a decade-long responsibility for a living thing, or spending $40,000 without talking to your partner?
Okay. I like this question. I'm going to throw it out there. 490-5858. I'm going to go a little reverse. What would you rather get on Christmas? A puppy, a kitten, or a new car, a new truck? I'd actually really like to let you know. For Lisa, both are a responsibility because I can't just flat out buy a new car. It means I just added a payment into our life. Lisa's allergic to cat dander, so no, and certain dogs. I think I would be more upset about a dog or a cat, mostly because I'm busy in my life and I want to give them their proper attention, and I don't think it'd be fair to them or me. And I'd always love a new car. I mean, even if I didn't need one, I like new cars. Remember we talked about muscle cars? I'm such a new car guy. If she went and got me a new car, I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So I don't know. Which one caused a catastrophic fight, or which one do you want? Do you want another? You have 2 dogs. Do you want another dog, or would you rather have a new car?
No. At this time, I have actually put a moratorium on the adoption of additional animals in my household. I love animals and I love dogs, and we did a compatibility check with a prospective foster dog that cost me easily $1,000 in property damage in like 2 weeks.
No, thank you.
Very, very sweet puppy dog, and absolutely like just a bundle of joy and light when she was getting undivided physical attention.
And if not, she was going to get it another way.
Dude, she ate. Guys, this was we made no commitment. Like there was never a misunderstanding. This was a compatibility check for the possibility of fostering, never adopting this dog. That dog ate 2 $60 remote controls one day after the other. And my wife was honestly surprised when I said that I did not want to see the dog for a day.
Now, how are you going to watch Elf? I mean, you don't have your remote controls. That was the sad part.
That's how I know that both of the remotes were $60 a piece, because I had to go order them from the manufacturer to get the right thing.
Wow.
No mas with the animals for me right now. I love the idea. I know exactly what vehicle I want. And as a consequence, my darling and patient wife also knows. If my wife went out and spent $70,000 without consulting me, I would have a stroke.
Really?
Absolutely. There's no no. There's no in our income bracket and our world. If she inherited the money and somehow hid it from me, I'd still be cross with her.
Really? Even though it's a car for you?
Absolutely.
So sounds like no dog, no car, no elf. What are you doing on Christmas? Just kind of, maybe what?
I'm sitting on a throne of coal.
What is happening?
I'm drinking whiskey and smoking cigars and watching my family from outside.
That's not bad, though. I'm not mad at that. That's not a bad answer.
No, it's going to be a beautiful holiday.
Well,
there's just not going to be Buddy the Elf. And if anybody in my household brings me a new dog, I'm sending them to the taxidermist.
Some police activity right now, Olive Avenue off-ramp to southbound 99. And then when you head up to Aubrey on Powerhouse Road at Wish I Am Road, there's a collision up there in the cleanup stages by now. And Visalia, westbound 198 at Plaza, got a car fire being reported there. And finally, Los Banos, northbound I-5 at Russell at the off-ramp there is a hazard with a stalled vehicle. Next update, 5:03, Greg Lane, KMJ Traffic.
'Tis the season to dash for $550,000 cash. Win your share of $42,000 weekly at drawings every Thursday and Friday. It's the Holiday Dash for Cash giveaway now through December 23rd. Only at Chukchansi Gold Resort and Casino.
This is Helen with Solar Negotiators with a breaking solar industry news update. Extremely bad news coming out of California. NEM 3.0 is a new set of rules that will cut credit for solar systems on homes by up to 75%. However, there is some good news. If your application for your new solar system is submitted early enough, you can still lock in your savings under the current policy. This is good for up to 20 years, with no deadline for construction of the system. It's time to finally go solar, and Solar Negotiators is making it easy for you to reserve your solar project today with flexible cancellation options. But their team is recommending that all customers who don't currently have solar look to getting a quote and an active reservation as soon as possible. You will need a solar agreement to hold your place under the current 2.0 rules. NEM 3.0 is coming, and the deadline is rapidly approaching. Don't wait. Lock in your solar savings today. To learn more about NEM 3.0 or to reserve your project, go to solarnegotiators.com today.
We like Personal Express because we can actually walk into an office and talk to a person and have your question answered face-to-face as opposed to spending 30 minutes waiting for someone to answer your call.
That face-to-face, one-on-one personal attention is just another reason why people every day become Personal Express Insurance customers.
We find that the rate that we're given, the customer service that we've experienced over the last 12 years has really been second to none. And with them covering both our car and our house, it really is a one-stop shop.
Personal Express Insurance has been known for its low rates, but our customers come with us and stay with us for what we like to call our local advantage.
Personal Express just makes sense. You're supporting the community, you're supporting your neighbors, you're supporting the people that live in your area.
I think you should say that. That gave me goosebumps.
I just did.
With offices in Fresno, in the Fig Garden Village, in Clovis, in the Buchanan Crossroads, and in Visalia, in the Visalia Pavilion. Or go to expressinsurance.com for a fast free quote.
'Tis the season to get real, with more real choices and more real opportunities to drive a Mercedes-Benz from Mercedes-Benz of Fresno. Right now, get real year-end closeout pricing on new 2022 Mercedes-Benz. Or get into a real, affordable certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, backed by an unlimited mileage warranty of up to 3 years. See store for details. This year, get what you really want at Mercedes-Benz of Fresno, Palm, and Herndon, or at MVFresno.com.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-932-4177. 800-932-4177. 800-932-4177.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
So you tested positive for COVID. What's next? Treat yourself. COVID treatments like Paxlovid are free. Taken by pill, these medications can stop the illness from getting serious. So treat yourself. Call a healthcare provider or the statewide COVID hotline at 833-422-4255 to find free treatment today. Again, that's 833-422-4255. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Live. Local. KMJ.
Going up on 5 o'clock on your afternoon drive. It's News Talk 580, 105.9. KMJ Worldwide. You can hear us at KMJnow.com. So the Brittany Griner story, I think, is it's just about done. It's just about out of the news cycle.
That's about as much attention as this is going to get. It's getting the proper amount. 2 minutes before the top of the hour.
And I think that the next time you hear her name, it's probably going to be in connection with Victor Bout having done something terrible. But Griner is telling everybody who supported her while she was in Russian custody to keep it going for Paul Whelan, and not just in pressuring the administration and the State Department, but sending him letters. She straight up said, Your letters were bigger than just uplifting me. They showed the power of collective hands. We can do hard things. I'm living proof of that. My family is whole now, thanks to you. We're fortunate to get to spend the holidays together. However, there remains too many families with loved ones wrongfully detained. And she says, I hope you'll join me in writing to Paul Whelan and continuing to advocate for other Americans to be rescued and returned. The deal that we got, Griner for Bout, the criticism of that is utterly justified.
Yeah.
Does this do anything to improve your opinion of the wealthy athlete who was stupid enough to apparently take weed into Russia because she hasn't come out and said the whole thing was a lie?
Yeah.
Does this do anything to improve your opinion of her?
It actually massively improves my opinion of her. When I filled in for Ray, I talked about this for 2 hours, and I took it from all angles, and I wasn't overly harsh on the young lady. But I came at her pretty good, and she had a bad track record. She had domestic violence convicted of, her not wanting to stand for the national anthem, all that biz. Anyways, this helps, but here's my problem. Mm-hmm. My problem is Whelan's response. And here's this. He basically wants something really good for Christmas, and he's getting something he doesn't want. He wants to come home. He got a letter.
Yeah.
It's kind of where it's at.
Yeah.
I want to come home. I got a letter. So happy for her, still unhappy for him.
Agreed, totally. I think that her point about the potential psychological and emotional good, it is important, and it's important for him while he's enduring his captivity, but it's that pressuring the administration and pressuring the State Department to get him home.
Yeah. Handwritten also is impressive. I know it sounds weird, but handwritten helps.
It's the Afternoon Drive at News Talk 580, 105.9. KMJ on the way, an update of headlines with Jim Miller in the KMJ newsroom. Another look at your drive home with Greg Lane in the KMJ Traffic Center, and your trending topics at 5 o'clock.
Melvin, he pretends that I am Murphy Brown. He'll say, are you ready? We'll say, whoa, man. Let's wait until the wife is out of town. Later on, if you wanna, we can dress like Madonna.
Missed part of the show? Get the Afternoon Drive podcast at KMJNow.com or by searching KMJ's Afternoon Drive in TuneIn Radio or Google Podcasts.
I know exactly how you feel. You're sitting there at the gas pump wondering, am I ever going to have a regular meal again? Because you're cutting out all the good food because you can't afford the gas, right? Wait until you see your next PG&E bill. No more meals out and no more hair because you're going to be pulling that out as well, too. Do what I did. Planet Solar. When you have a solar system put in by Planet Solar, you literally lock in your energy price forever. Don't you wish it could be that way at the gas pump? Sorry, but you can't do that there. But you can do it for your home with Planet Solar, and it all began for them right here in Central California. One of the things I really liked about these guys is their financing. Don't let the rate hike scare you away from going with Planet Solar. And they are really quick and good and efficient on installation, and they have become masters at putting together a complete solar package with a solar battery. So you've got the juice when PG&E says, no, you don't need it because we're trying to conserve to save the world. Click planetsolar.com. Do that. Call them at 228-9245.
Think you have a good reason for not donating blood?
Dude, with all my tattoos, no one's ever gonna want me to donate blood.
Fact. In California, tattoo shops are required to use sterile needles and fresh ink so you can donate immediately. There's no excuse for not helping make sure that the Central California Blood Center always has an adequate supply of blood available for your family, friends, and neighbors. Be the bigger person. Go to donateblood.org now to make an appointment.
It's the end of the year, and you know what that means. Huge year-end savings at Clovis Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The end of the year is the best time to save during our Big Finish sales event. Take $1,000 off MSRP on a new Jeep Wrangler 4xE. Purchased by the year end and get a $7,500 tax credit from the federal government. And we've got a great selection of rugged, tough Ram trucks. Take $3,500 off on select new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs. See why more people than ever are switching to Ram. Or get $2,000 $1,000 off a new Jeep Grand Cherokee L Limited Edition, the most awarded SUV ever. At Clovis Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, we're making room for new inventory, and it's your chance to save. Experience the Clovis difference. Our award-winning customer service and knowledgeable staff get you in and get you back on the road fast. Shop local and save during the Big Finish sales event now through December 31st. And happy holidays from Clovis Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on the corner of Peach and Herndon and Clovis, and online at clovischrysler.com. Offer expires 12/31/22.
We all have that person who is hard to buy for. Well, Thomas & Tractor Company in Fireball is making it easy for you. Anything John Deere they have, from the John Deere compact utility tractors to a large showroom with parts, toys, hats, safes, boots, and apparel for the entire family. Come in today and see our full lineup of Ariat boots and clothing for all of your holiday shopping needs at Thomas & Tractor Company. Family owned and operated for over 55 years. Thomas & Tractor Company in Fireball, where superior service is standard equipment.
Make the season bright with the $550,000 Holiday Dash for Cash giveaway. Come out on Friday, December 23rd for the grand finale to win your share of $90,000 cash. Only at Chukchansi Gold Resort and Casino.
The original KMJ, 580 AM, 105.9 FM, Fresno, a Cumulus media station.
It's 5 o'clock in Fresno. I'm Joe Miller in the KMJ News Center. A man convicted in a deadly 2016 carjacking in Fresno could be out of prison sooner than expected. Zachary Goodwin, convicted of second-degree murder in 2019, receiving a 40-year-to-life sentence. Goodwin's conviction of killing 59-year-old Michael Dervartanian was thrown out earlier this year after his defense attorney filed an appeal. Instead of heading back to court for a new trial, Goodwin agreed to a plea deal for a lighter sentence. He'll now be eligible for parole after serving 15 years. A total of 8 Bakersfield police officers now on paid administrative leave follows a shooting Tuesday morning that left one suspect dead, and we get the details from KBAK reporter Fiona Dager.
An officer-involved shooting in East Bakersfield. Police say they got a call around 10 from a rail worker. He said a man was waving a gun on the train tracks just off of Union Avenue and Daniels Street.
Officers made contact with that individual. The circumstances of that initial contact are still under investigation. All of the officers that were present were wearing body-worn cameras. During that first incident, officers discharged their firearms. Subsequently, the individual was engaged in a foot pursuit, which ultimately terminated on Daniels Lane, where there was another series of gunshots by the officers.
Fresno officers said to be doing well after being involved in a crash during a chase this morning. Officers attempted to conduct a traffic stop near McKinley and Highway 168, but the driver failed to stop, running a red light. Second car coming off the McKinley off-ramp collided with the police cruiser as they tried to follow the original suspect. No other injuries to report. The original driver got away. Dairy exports set a record for our nation. KMJ Ag Director Don York reports.
USDA's new export report finds that American dairy exports are setting records this year in terms of value. The report covers January through October and says this increase was driven by strong prices for dairy products. Overall, values are up 25%. But the Ag Department says the increase in export value did not necessarily coincide with an increase on how much product was actually shipped. In fact, the amount of non-fat dry milk exports dropped by 8%, while the value, how much money it made, went up by 27%. Dairy products from California are ranked as the second biggest farm export for our state. Don York, KMJ News.
Now the forecast from Fox 26's Alexis Govea.
I'm Alexis Govea from the Fox 26 Weather Center. Happy Thursday. This morning we experienced dense fog in the Central Valley, but it cleared up around the 11 o'clock hour this morning. Let's take a look now at your high and low. For Fresno today, we're looking at a high of 53 degrees, and your low will be 39 degrees. And that's a look at your weather for today. From the Fox 26 Weather Center, I'm Alexis Govea for KMJ News.
With news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com, I'm Joe Miller for News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
In Fresno right now on southbound 41 at McKinley, at the on-ramp there's a disabled vehicle there, and it's causing some problems on that on-ramp. Still going on in Auberry, Powerhouse Road at Wish-I-Am Road, there's a collision that they're dealing with there. And Visalia, northbound 99 at Avenue 280, got a hazard being reported there. Next update, 517, it's Greg Lane with KMJ Traffic.
'Tis the season to dash for $550,000 cash. Win your share of $42,000 weekly at drawings every Thursday and Friday. It's the Holiday Dash for Cash giveaway now through December 23rd. Only at Chukchansi Gold Resort and Casino.
Teresi takes you home on News Talk 580 1059 KMJ.
5:05 on your afternoon drive. It's News Talk 580 1059 KMJ, hour 4 of the Thursday installment of your afternoon drive. Call Joe up at 490-5858 or toll free 800-776-5858. You'll find the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Drive KMJ, and you'll find us streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch.tv, also at Drive KMJ. Joshua Weekly is standing by to screen your calls this afternoon as I join Joe Basil in the KMJ studios with your trending topics at 5 o'clock.
We started the show with the Ray Appleton Special, 99 Craft Pizza's newest creation. Order online at 99craftpizza.com.
A porch pirate was caught on camera stealing multiple packages, not only from one home, but from several. According to Brandon Marshall, the accused thief stole packages that were outside his home and 3 to 4 other homes that he knows of. The thief was spotted in the video pulling up to the home in a car that had handicap plates. He runs out, grabs packages near the door, and takes off. Visit the link to our news partner Fox 26 to see if you can identify this scumbag.
Netflix hopes a new movie about Fresno's most famous hitchhiker will be a smash. The hatchet-wielding hitchhiker premieres on the 10th of February 2023 only on Netflix. This shocking documentary chronicles a happy-go-lucky nomad Kai, a.k.a. Caleb Lawrence McGilvory, his ascent to viral stardom and the steep downward spiral that resulted in his imprisonment.
Republican Carrie Lake has claimed the election was stolen and promised bombshells showing that she was the rightful winner of the Arizona gubernatorial contest. But on the first day of the trial in her election challenge, her lawyers alleged small bore problems that did not appear to show the widespread intentional misconduct that she will need to prove to win a recount. Maricopa County officials say everyone had a chance to vote and all ballots were counted, since ballots affected by printer issues were taken to more sophisticated counters at the election department headquarters.
Fox News star Sean Hannity admitted under oath that he never believed the lie that Trump was cheated of victory in the 2020 presidential election by a voting technology company. Hannity and a top Fox News executive who oversees primetime programs told a different story about Trump's false claims of fraud under oath and in front of attorneys during separate depositions in the $1.6 billion defamation suit.
The best and worst of Christmas viewing. What movies are you skipping during the holidays, and what is a must-watch as we are now, attention shoppers, 3 days to Christmas?
Cats and dogs at the Valley Animal Center, a local nonprofit no-kill adoption center, are in dire need of food. The Fresno shelter took to social media to ask for the public's help, as they say only a week's worth of food is left. The shelter listed Kelly's Pet, Whitey's Pets, and a link to its Amazon wish list that can be found on their website.
WNBA star and former Russian hostage Brittany Griner asks her supporters to keep up the pressure to bring Paul Whelan home next. That's your trending topics at 5 o'clock. For those stories and a lot more, get the podcast on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon Music. Anywhere you like to listen, just search for KMJ's Afternoon Drive or head over to KMJNow.com. Hit the podcast tab. Not only will you find us, but you'll find all kinds of great content from the rest of the KMJ team. 5:09 now on your Afternoon Drive. Again, that's Joe Basil. I'm Philip Teresi. Phone's open for your calls and wide open on a 5 o'clock Thursday afternoon. I am like 90% out of here because Christmas is coming. It's almost the weekend, and I'm ready.
Yeah. You asked an interesting question about what would you rather have, a dog or a kitten or a car. Those obviously aren't coming for you. We heard your answer. Everybody's afraid to even bring. I got Philip a car. Get out of here right now, run. He doesn't want a car. But do you ask for Christmas gifts? Do you guys still do Christmas gifts and exchanges? Like you and Carrie, do you guys do that?
Yes. Mrs. Teresi and I do have a few things that we exchange. The introduction of the Amazon wish list as a replacement for the circle the thing that you want in the catalog has worked really, really well in my household. And although she's so funny because I just have one Amazon wish list. I don't parse everything out into these are Philip's books, and this is reading material for work, and this is equipment that I want to improve the live stream, and this is equipment that I want to dink around in my office. I just put everything in Philip's list.
Are all those Christmas worthy? Or are they just a mixture of just like what you want?
It's a combination of stuff that would absolutely be appropriate for Christmas and stuff that has nothing to do with anything other than I might find that useful. And so I put it there. So if I decide it's going to be useful, I can go back and get exactly the thing I was looking at and not have to then spend another half a day searching. So just like on WKRP in Cincinnati, we wear headphones when we broadcast. And I have worn, for the most of my career, I've worn a variation of Sony's Model 7506. That is the headphone that you will see almost every disc jockey in America wearing in a professional setting.
Okay.
The one big exception is Howard Stern wears AKGs, which I hate. They're so boomy.
All right, guys, is everybody getting this? Just so you know, all of you who do this for a living, just take note.
The AKGs are really, really boomy.
That makes sense that anything with AK in the front would also be boomy.
So I've done the Sony 7506s and their predecessor, this MDR 300 series that they no longer make that I loved. And that's about $100 pair of professional studio monitor headphones.
Okay.
They sound great. They're very clean. They're very flat. They're perfect for what we do here. They're also really good reference headphones if you're listening to music, period, because they are clean and flat. And if you want to EQ them, they'll respond well. There is a pair of headphones that I was looking at that are several times more expensive than the 7506s, or even the pair that I'm wearing now, which Mrs. Teresi got me for Christmas 2 years ago. And she was struggling because this was like, now we're getting into capital purchase territory. We're starting to approach, because we have an agreement.
I was going to say, is there a number that you guys try to stick around?
We have a standing agreement in our household. Anything over $1,000 requires a conversation.
Okay.
You know, she's got her money, I've got my money. But just for the sake of gut checking, is this a good idea? Should we spend this money? Anything over $1,000, we stop and we talk. These headphones are approaching that price line.
Wow.
Well, I don't.
But it is what you do for a living, though. Just saying, there's a little bit, like Lisa and I have a standing conversation, but anything over $5 is a no.
But I don't want these headphones for work. I'm not going to bring those into some filthy radio station.
Okay,
where some
now
disc jockeys
I'm with your wife on this one. What are you talking about? You want to get these really dope headphones that you're not going to use in the job industry where that would make a lot of sense?
No, God, no. I'm going to use them specifically with a stereo that I don't yet own, but will probably buy for myself as a birthday gift in a few years.
Are those tires over there? Yeah, they're for my future car. I'm going to be buying that car soon.
The headphones are the headphones. I researched them. I like them. I put them in my list. That way I don't have to go back and go, no, what was that model number? They're just there.
Yeah.
And they'll be there until I close my Amazon account. And she said, by the way, the headphones, and I looked at her and I actually said, please tell me you didn't buy those headphones.
Oh.
And she goes, no, I was thinking about it. Should I not buy those? And I was like, oh my God, no. First of all, I've got perfectly good headphones that I don't need to be replaced right now. Secondly, I don't own the stereo that I'm going to pair those headphones with someday.
That's the part that made sense to me. I am actually wearing studio headphones right now.
Yeah.
And they're great. But made me think, though, Lisa owns nice headphones. She brings in whenever she comes in. I was actually thinking I don't have to have boring black headphones. I just hit me right now, like, I could wear any color headphones I wanted. I probably would do some form of glitter on them somewhere.
You get the ones with the little kitty cat ears on the headband.
I'm telling you right now, if I'm going to be wearing these dumb things all the time, they're going to be ridiculous. I mean, ridiculous. You're going to look at it and be like, I can't even look at you. And especially like when we're on the live stream and I'm like, breaking news. Here's what's going on with Donald Trump. They're like, does that dude have bunny ears? He's got bunny ears on. Yes.
Yes.
Hard-hitting news.
I wholeheartedly support that. What I would suggest is don't go out and buy ridiculous headphones. Just buy fantastic accessories to clip onto the headband.
That's true. That's a good idea. Well, Lisa and I definitely have a limit on what we spend on each other.
Sure.
And for like Christmas for me, Lisa won't buy me cigars. So that's already a
really?
No. Yeah, Lisa's under the impression that tobacco is bad for humans. I'm like, what? I don't know who says that besides everybody.
Shocking.
Yeah, so I don't ask for cigars, but Lisa is very aware. She's actually a good person who listens to what I say. So stuff shows up at Christmas that I don't remember saying. Then I'm like, oh my gosh, I really want this. How did you know? She's like, you mean when you talked about it? And that's how I knew. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even remember talking about it.
Give me an example. What's a good, like, you mentioned something that you were interested in and it turned up under the tree?
I love, this is going to sound weird, maybe to you, maybe it won't. I love the Chicago Bears. Like,
you're from Chicago.
But I'll listen to like 9 podcasts about the Chicago Bears. There's not enough material to have 9 podcasts worth like 9 different takes on it. Same take, 9 different people. I love it, and that's actually kind of my style of radio, Chicago sports talk, because it's kind of little. It's just very opinionated, a lot of hot takes, which I like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But so all of a sudden, like I'll have a Justin Fields Bears jersey, and I didn't remember ever asking for one, or it'll be a scarf, or a pair of shoes. Like she'll buy me a pair of shoes that I talked about that I don't remember asking about it, and for me, I have to be like, hey, can you buy your present? Because I don't know what you want. Well, not because I failed a lot. I bought a lot of presents where she's like, this is so nice. Do you have a receipt? Do they come with a receipt? Because I need a receipt. A receipt seems important here. So then I'll try small stuff. Like I bought her something this year she doesn't know about.
Yeah.
I tried something. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm more willing to take a risk with small stuff.
Yeah.
On something big, it's not about the dollar amount. It's about if I'm going to spend more than a couple $100, I need to know that this is something she's going to like, because I hate the idea of giving somebody a pending return.
Right.
Like that sucks.
That does suck.
So like her big gift this year is something that she was very clear she wanted. And so I have no hesitation about going off and buying that, because it's exactly the thing that she said that she wanted. Again, Amazon wish list, super duper helpful.
Yeah.
And then like the cool stuff that I got, because I love finding like historical artifacts for her. That stuff that'll be much more moderately priced.
Yeah.
One year I got her a copy of the Columbia Sentinel. This was the newspaper being published in the District of Columbia when George Washington was the president of the United States.
It's a replica copy?
Nope.
How much was that? Just curious, because I always wonder with historical artifacts like that, can you get that for like not $1 million?
Yeah. So this is one of those things people don't know about modern newspapers versus the newspapers of 1780 something.
Yeah.
I think this is from 1790s. I can't remember exactly. They were printed on hemp-based paper. The newspapers that were published when George Washington was the president of the United States are still readable and handleable, and will outlast the newspapers that were printed today by any publisher because of the superior quality of the stock.
They're also potentially smokable.
No.
Oh,
wrong kind of hemp. But you could make a beastly rope out of them if you wanted to shred them up.
There you go.
But no, for just a decent copy in good repair, not like the day of Washington's inauguration.
Right. I mean, just like anyone from that era. What are we talking?
$150.
No way.
Yeah. And she loved it. She was over the moon. She has shown it to every single person that has come into our house since I got it 4 or 5 years ago.
Lisa, you're about to get a newspaper for Christmas.
On northbound 99, just south of Ventura, got a vehicle that is heading the wrong direction on the side of the road, so caution there. Herndon Avenue on northbound 99, got a non-injury accident there. In Visalia, a hazard on northbound 99 at Avenue 260. Next update, 5:33. I'm Greg Lane with KMJ Traffic.
Make the season bright with the $550,000 Holiday Dash for Cash giveaway. Come out on Friday, December 23rd for the grand finale to win your share of $90,000 cash. Only at Chukchansi Gold Resort and Casino.
This holiday season, millions of Americans will share a table and gather with family and friends to celebrate and give thanks. This is Christina Mousson for Gar Bennett. As you sit down to celebrate, please take a moment to say a prayer and give thanks to the men and women that feed and fuel our freedom, our Central Valley farmers. Farming has seen many changes, challenges, and even pandemics, but faith, family, and friendships remain fundamental to agriculture and to Gar Bennett's success. The integrity, hard work, and trust that guided us in the early years are the same values that guide us today in helping growers feed the world. Thank you for growing with Gar Bennett. For the best water, irrigation, nutrition, regulatory, and crop care advice and products at 800-696-6108 and online at garbennett.com. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Amanda Nugent Devine, licensed marriage and family therapist, CEO of Kingsview.
Many people have used the phrase, "It's okay to not be okay," and I really like that. Here's why. If we have not felt grief before, many of us have experienced it in abundance as a result of the pandemic. When we experience loss, it is normal to be sad and to grieve. Grieving is an essential part of the healing process. Many of us learned about the 5 stages of grief identified by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. The theory goes that we do not necessarily go through the stages in sequential order, and we often cycle back through or revisit certain stages. But ultimately, the goal is that we end up at acceptance. But psychologists say it is much more complicated than this. Grief causes distinct changes in people's bodies and in their brain activity. The bottom line is that everyone grieves differently, and what is important is that a person seeks help when their grief disrupts their life, work, relationships, and ability to care for self.
The Mental Health Minute with Amanda Nugent Devine is sponsored by Kingsview.
It's a new day because COVID vaccines just got a big update. So all the big stuff coming up this fall? Well, now you can say, you bet I'll be there. Because updated COVID vaccines protect against both the original COVID virus and Omicron. And everyone 5 and older can get one. So this is a moment we've all been waiting for.
Find updated COVID vaccines at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Did you know the best time of year to buy a car is December through mid-January? It's true. Most people don't realize that Central Valley dealerships are wheeling and dealing at the end of the year. We know you've been wanting a new vehicle, and now is the best time to act. So visit your local Central Valley auto dealer this week and check out their inventory right now. They're ready and able to get you into that new vehicle you've been wanting, just in time for the new year. Happy holidays from your local Central Valley auto dealers.
The state of the world today has changed drastically. People are more desperate than ever, with copper theft at an all-time high. Catalytic converters are being stolen right out of the parking lot while we're shopping or at work. Packages stolen from our front porches in broad daylight. Theft and vandalism of ag equipment is also on the rise. Our communities and businesses are constantly under attack, and we all need increased security measures. DSS Private Security offers a wide range of security services, alarms and camera systems, and well-trained security officers. We have years of experience with on-site security of residential communities, retail businesses, agricultural facilities, and medical offices. Call DSS Private Security today for a free consultation of your home or business and help better protect your family, your employees, and your assets. Call 559-977-8508 or visit us online at www.dssca.us/KMJ.
I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside.
I gotta go away.
Stanford sponsored this song. This is their sponsorship. My buddy, by the way, he just said, He goes, listening to you and Philip, I'm a big fan of Amazon wish list. Hard to screw the gifts up.
Yo, yeah. Well, and like for the kid, I know cash is king with teenagers. I don't just want to give you cash.
I know, it's hard. My kids ask for it too.
You give me an Amazon wish list, you'll get exactly what you want. You're not going to get all of it, but you can get what you want. And then I'm actually you'll be pleasantly surprised on Christmas.
Did you actually write out a Christmas list to your parents when you were a kid? And then how much of that did you get?
I'm sure I must have. I'm sure I must have. My problem was I had a dad who was like the king of, oh, whoops, ha ha, here's some lottery tickets, kids.
My family's a lottery tickets family too.
Yeah,
that's not that uncommon to get lottery tickets. Hey, we don't have a lot of money for your birthday. Here's $5 in lottery tickets.
No, I didn't realize until I was a father myself that my dad wasn't being economical by wrapping gifts in the Sunday funnies. He just wasn't buying wrapping paper.
Right.
My mom wants to go above and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that you guys can relate to this. When you're 15, 16 years old, 14, 15, 16 years old, if you say, I want a thing.
Right.
And then somebody shows up with a different thing. It's frustrating.
It is.
And so, like a perfect example of my mom trying to go above and beyond. I wanted the handheld version of the TurboGrafx 16 console.
Okay. I remember.
And so this would have been, I probably was a freshman. I was either an 8th grade or a freshman, something like that. One of the draws was that the TurboGrafx 16 handheld would play the regular console cartridges.
Yeah.
So if I ever cared to upgrade to the full-blown plug it into the TV console, I wasn't going to have to go rebuy all the games.
Right.
The other thing was, and I'll die on this hill, the NEC TurboGrafx 16 was light years ahead of every other console in terms of graphics, rendering, playability, responsiveness of controls. It was the best video game console on the market in that era.
Okay.
And it got no respect.
Okay.
My mother, God bless her, trying to do the right thing, goes to Toys R Us because here's this thing that I want and that's where you're going to get it. And somehow we go from TurboGrafx 16, she shows up and it's the Sega Game Gear. There's 4 games, a carrying case, branded headphones, a wall charger. It's this, and it's not like she went and bought a kit. This was when you still had to buy all this crap separately, which means that she spent easily 4 times what it would have cost to have just given me what I asked for.
Right.
And I opened it and was just immediately like, oh. And now I've got to gin up this enthusiasm and be like, oh wow, thanks mom, that's great. And it's sat unopened in my room for 6 months.
Oh,
because it was just I don't.
I'm sad for both of you. That's a sad.
Oh, it just kills me,
guys. It's a bummer Christmas with Phil Teresi.
I'm a terrible person to buy gifts for, and that was exactly the moment at which I said I'm never doing another Christmas list.
Oh, okay.
You can give me cash, you can give me lottery tickets, you can give me a dirty look. Stop buying me presents because I'm tired of hurting people's feelings through my inability to lie.
Right. Well, that's not. I mean, that's a tough one. I don't know why. So my family didn't ask for lists.
Yeah.
So they would just wildly guess at what you want, even though I'd gladly tell you what I wanted.
So did you guys try to do drop hints? Here's the catalog with the stuff circled?
I would just write down a list that my mom's like, bah, 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 bah. I'm like,
no.
I have, and so until I met my friends, the Kegels, and they're like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, what? What do you want? They're like things. I'm like, well, doesn't that ruin it if I tell you what I want and you get me what I want? They're like, no, doesn't that make it better for Christmas? Like, oh yeah, I'm just not used to that because my family's all like, if you tell me something you want and I get it, that's not fun. But if you don't tell me you want and I get you something you don't want, that's a lot of fun. I'm like, no, not fun at all. And then my wife Lisa's family is the same way. They'd be like, make lists, and then people buy stuff from the list. All of a sudden, Christmas became amazing to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I can actually get things I want for Christmas and not just be thankful that someone bought me something they thought I wanted.
Okay, but you're now a grown man. You got a job. You got a wife who's
I'm wearing
contributing to the bottom
Crocs
line.
and I have a ponytail. Easy on the grown man part.
But my point being, you are at a point in your life where 364 days out of the year, if you want a thing, you can just go get the thing you want.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we've all got stuff we want that's out of reach, like the pickup truck I want to go buy. That I'm just not doing right now.
You're nailing it. I want cars that I can't get.
But in the course of the year, if you see a movie, a video game, a piece of jewelry, sunglasses, whatever, you just go get it, right?
You just described a douche, but go ahead.
I'm just trying to come up with consumer level
Sure,
stuff.
sure.
Also, I'm wearing jewelry, I'm wearing cologne, and I've got a fantastic video library that's all digital now because the future's stupid and we don't have physical media anymore. But when I want something, I go and get it. Isn't getting little stuff like T-shirts, undershirts, the socks and underwear, all that stuff that everybody's like, oh, that's a stupid gift to give your dad. Nobody wants another thing of socks and another thing of boxer shorts and another tie. Not that you and I are tie guys,
No.
but you follow me.
Yes.
Don't you love getting that stuff now? Because it's cool, and I know that my wife didn't run up a charge on it.
I adore it. Nothing more, though, than honestly handwritten stuff for my kids. I'm not joking. I'll take a handwritten note for my kid over any gift in the world. Just how they feel about me, how they're feeling about themselves. I mean, I have a nice relationship with my kids. I'm very sentimental. At this point, I'm like, I'll take sentimental over. And I like the socks. If somebody bought me underwear, I'd be like, awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy about it because I'm very pragmatic. But I like sentimental now.
I can appreciate sentimental. The only way my child is ever going to write me a letter is if I die and they're leaving it on my grave.
KMJ News now.
It's 5:30 in Fresno. I'm Joe Miller in the KMJ News Center. Detectives now investigating two robberies that took place Wednesday, just 3 hours apart in Fresno. Fresno police confirmed the two cases believed to be related. The victims told Fox 26 News they believe they were followed home after they shopped at Asia Supermarket near Tulare and Chestnut. Both police and the victims confirmed they were confronted by masked suspects who took off with jewelry. Both suspects believed to be men. Camera footage shows the two masked suspects running back and taking off in a dark gray Chrysler 200. Anyone with information in this case, you're asked to contact Fresno police. Now to a rescue that's being called a Christmas miracle. It involves a mother moose north of Spokane, Washington that needed help to stay alive. ABC's Alex Stone reports.
It was tense.
Paula and Bill Gilbert were horrified when they looked out their back deck and saw a moose had fallen through a frozen lake and was treading water, struggling to survive.
It was so hard.
Wildlife sadly often fall through frozen lakes, and typically nothing can be done without risking the lives of rescuers. This time, though, after 5 hours of trying, Washington's Department of Fish and Wildlife and firefighters, using lassos and all the strength they had, were able to pull the moose out of the hole in the ice.
It's a Christmas miracle.
The moose was okay, and I should add, all of this unfolded in a town named Elk. Alex Stone, EBC News.
Now the forecast from Fox 26's Alexis Govea.
I'm Alexis Govea from the Fox 26 Weather Center. Happy Thursday. This morning we experienced dense fog in the Central Valley, but it cleared up around the 11 o'clock hour this morning. Let's take a look now at your high and low. For Fresno today, we're looking at a high of 53 degrees, and your low will be 39 degrees. And that's a look at your weather for today. From the Fox 26 Weather Center, I'm Alexis Govea for KMJ News.
With news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com, I'm Joe Miller for News Talk 580, 1059 KMJ.
To Lemoore we go, and a hazard in the roadway of a disabled vehicle on northbound 41 at Fremont Avenue. Then to Madera, northbound 99 Avenue 7 on the on-ramp, got a non-injury accident there. And on northbound 99 at Herndon at the off-ramp, a collision with unknown injuries. Next update is at 5:47. I'm Greg Lane with KMJ Traffic.
Folks, there have been some fumbles on the way to the big game, but he's not getting some help to get it done tonight. Here's the throw. He might go all the way. Touchdown!
Regain and optimize your sexual performance. See what Pacific Men's Clinic can do to help that bedroom touchdown. Pacific Men's Clinic's safe and pain-free, clinically proven procedure breaks up plaque and stimulates the growth of healthy new blood vessels. Call for your free consultation now at 559-550-6771. That's 559-550-6771.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-826-9895. That's 800-826-9895. 800-826-9895.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Keppel here, serial entrepreneur. I hired my first employee in 1988, but I interviewed poorly and didn't provide job training. So 6 hours after she started, I ushered the tearful employee out the door without even putting her on my payroll. Yes, I hired and fired my very first employee on the same day and broke my first payroll law. I was a terrible employer. Years later, I created Patriot Software to help employers with 1 to 100 employees not make mistakes with their payroll. Go to PatriotSoftware.com, use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll processing free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Lon Hanna here with Evans Feed Christmas One-Stop Shopping Trip. Steal a deal on all their steel products like Black Friday black pipe panels, gates, and water troughs up to 20% off. Candles, jewelry, and cute clothes for that special lady. Toys and the cutest boots ever for little cowpokes. Hats, coats, boots, pet and show supplies, rain gear with discounts galore in store. At Evans Feed, you shop, they'll wrap, well, maybe not the steel. Evans Feed in Madera, Chowchilla, and Porterville. Merry Christmas.
'Tis the season to dash for $550,000 cash. Win your share of $42,000 weekly at drawings every Thursday and Friday. It's the Holiday Dash for Cash giveaway now through December 23rd. Only at Chukchansi Gold Resort and Casino.
Now, the Valley's Afternoon Drive with Philip Teresi on News Talk 580 1059 KMJ.
540 on your afternoon drive on a Thursday afternoon. It's News Talk 580 1059. KMJ. Traffic is starting to build here at the northern end, the exit of Christmas Tree Lane. And just a word, a thought, an invitation to you to avoid headache.
Are you bookending this with another Christmas Tree Lane driving story?
No, I am making a traffic recommendation,
Okay.
which will be reinforced when we once again hear from Greg Lane in the KMJ Traffic Center in a matter of mere minutes. If you are headed eastbound on Shaw Avenue and you are currently west of the Fig Garden Shopping Center, as you approach Palm, move over to the number 3 lane. Move over all the way left.
Okay.
Because Christmas Tree Lane diverts out onto Shaw and is immediately occupying the number 1 lane. And so they actually are going to force you over anyways. Just get all the way over.
Yeah.
You're going to be a happier person.
That's right.
And if you are coming up Palm and you are northbound from south of Shaw, you made a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that you're going to spend the rest of your natural life trying to get through. If at all possible, dive off to Fruit.
Yes.
And just go up Fruit. But if you are, again, on Palm and you are headed this way, left, stay left. You're going to have an easier time getting through the intersection.
Is that a political statement or are you talking about driving?
You know what's even worse than that? is trying to get out on Harrison here when we leave every day, because you can't do anything but make a right there. They won't let you out. So when we're coming out of here and we get on Shaw, the traffic won't let you over. So we get stuck in that lane, which backs traffic up even more. So you're absolutely right on the money.
Yeah, just stay left. Give yourself the breathing room. It's the most wonderful time of the year unless you are at the southeast corner of Palm and Shaw.
I think that was the exact words from Pelosi's final speech. Stay left, give yourself some breathing room. I think that's what she said tonight. Wasn't sure.
Did she wrap it up? Is she done? Thank you, Greg, by the way.
She's wrapping it up. This is a very nice version of talking about driving around Christmas Tree Lane. And if you'd like to hear if you just had a bad experience at Christmas Tree Lane driving through there, please listen to the first segment on our show on KMJNow.com on the podcast, because Philip will scratch that itch if you just need to hear a rant about how people were driving going to Christmas Tree Lane. It's a doozy. You're going to love it.
So KTLA is reporting that the most recommended restaurant in Santa Barbara is Little Caesars. This is a beautiful example of locals availing themselves of an opportunity to very, very, very mildly abuse tourists that they are tired of taking up space in their world.
And they're using it on my favorite social media platform, Reddit.
If you don't know Santa Barbara, this is where Oprah lives. This is where Harry and Meghan settled. This is a little bit of a Tony neighborhood. But like all Tony neighborhoods, there's also the place where the poors live, because you don't want to wait too long for the maid to get there in the morning.
Yeah.
And so over on Milpas Street in Santa Barbara, there is a Little Caesars Pizza. Exactly what you're thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there is a beautiful subreddit for Santa Barbara where people will occasionally pop in to ask, hey, where's a good place? Where do the locals go? And this is when you will start to encounter recommendations for opportunities in the town that are not exactly what it was that you meant when you were asking where to go. There is actually an alternative name that is known amongst the residents of Santa Barbara who regularly inhabit the subreddit where tourists pop in to ask where to go. Le Chateau de Petit César en Rue de Melpaz.
Oh, it's so fancy. I don't think you can afford it. Maybe you should not. Maybe you should reconsider going there.
Occasionally abbreviated to simply Le Petit Cesarito.
Mm-hmm.
And comments from people helpfully making the observation. I hear the reservations are booked out months now that it's won a Michelin star.
It's won a Michelin star. That's how good this joke is. This is a great joke. You win a Michelin star. Actually makes me like the people who award the Michelin stars more.
There's a photograph of the storefront. And if you're unclear, this Little Caesars looks exactly like the Little Caesars out there at Herndon and Milburn. It is utterly indistinguishable from the Herndon and Milburn Little Caesars.
Right.
It does not have a Michelin star. It is in no way a fancy special pinkies up iteration of Little Caesars. It is pizza, hot and ready. Give me $5 and I will give you something that is technically legally edible.
One of the users on Reddit wrote that they said, Le Petit Cesarito, my aunt was pissed when I recommended that place to her. Because she went. Oh, it's such a good joke.
So, having spent a portion of your life in Chicago, here's another town where tourists go.
Yeah.
And I, having spent a fair chunk of my childhood in San Francisco.
Yeah, you know the same thing. You know where the locals go and where the tourists go.
When somebody who I know and love is coming to town, I'm going to take them to the places that I know and love.
Yeah.
When somebody who is from out of town asks me where to go, I mean, I don't know if Chicago has the exact same kind of blow off, but my answer is always, I'll go check out Ghirardelli Square.
Okay.
Which it loosely translated in San Francisco is go to hell.
Oh. Okay. Okay. I don't mean.
Yeah.
All right. So now Santa Barbara is so small, so I get why you're redirecting people. It really is small. Like you go there, I've been there a ton of times because I lived in LA, and so I get it. Chicago is so big, nobody's bothering you, so you don't really do that. But what I get is with the tourists is people tell me, "Hey, I've been to Chicago and I ate at the best place to get pizza, Gino's East," and I'm like, "No, that's where tourists eat pizza in Chicago." And they're like, "Oh, I had the best Italian beef at Al's Beef." I said, "No, you just watched something on Food Network, and they told you to go there." So in Chicago, I think it's the reverse. We're more annoyed that they're not going to the real places and they're walking away with all the touristy opinions of Chicago.
That's interesting because that in my mind is very much a kind of a New York attitude.
Yeah, Italian New York attitude too. We know best. Prego.
There's a little bit of that there, but I mean, this is something that I learned working with Chris, is like the tourist spots is where you let people who don't have any connection go. When your friends come, you don't let them go to Times Square. You don't let them go to Katz. You don't send them to one of the original New York pizza joints that line Broadway.
Yeah.
You take them to the real joints. You take them to where the people in your neighborhood go. And that's the same with San Francisco. Nobody who loves you is telling you to go down the Embarcadero.
Friends don't let friends see cats. I feel like that's what needs to be said.
If anybody tells you, "Oh no, go check out Hard Rock, it's awesome," they hate you they're wasting your time.
They hate you.
$40 for parking and food from McDonald's.
Yes.
It's miserable. So Chicago does more the New York thing, where if you're talking to somebody from out of town, you're actually going to steer them
to the right place.
To the right place.
Because you want them to leave that city knowing they had the best thing. When people tell me, "Hey, I've had Portillo's," which is great, but if somebody says to me, "I've had Gene and Jude's," I'm like, "Oh, you know somebody that likes you. They gave you cash only, an F rating on the health check, and it is hot dogs with 3 different toppings. It's like 3 things on the menu, and it is lined out the door, fries wrapped inside the hot dog. It is so Chicago. It is so like you have to know about it to go to it. Somebody goes there, I'm like, somebody likes you. They actually sent you to the best place."
And I feel like we've got same. "Oh, we had such a great time. We went to Alioto's." God bless the people that used to run that joint. "Oh, okay, so you didn't get in deep enough to get to Marcelino's. Nice to meet you."
Yeah.
Do we have a spot like that in Fresno? Because I feel like
I'm not from here. It's Doghouse. If somebody said they went to Fresno and they didn't mention they went to Doghouse, I'd say you didn't go to the right place.
Yeah, for lunch, I agree. And yet, if there's something happening at the Save Mart Center and I tell somebody to go to Doghouse, it's because I'm trying to make them late to their show.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Our troubles will be out of sight.
In Los Banos, westbound 152 at Dinosaur Point, got a collision there. Then in Visalia, Road 88 Avenue 368, a non-injury accident. A couple problems going on in Madera. First of all, southbound 41 at Children's Boulevard, a hazard of a disabled vehicle. And then in Madera, around Avenue 12, still got reports on the 99, of course, of traffic just slow. And also, we have in Visalia on Road 88, Avenue 368, a collision there, and another one on Road 132 at Avenue 212. I'm Greg Lane with KMJ Traffic.
Ron Hanna here with Evans Feed Christmas one-stop shopping trip. Steal a deal on all their steel products like Black Friday black pipe panels, gates, and water troughs up to 20% off. Candles, jewelry, and cute clothes for that special lady. Toys and the cutest boots ever for little cowpokes. Hats, coats, boots, pet and show supplies, rain gear with discounts galore in store. At Evans Feed, you shop, they'll wrap, well, maybe not the steel. Evans Feed in Madera, Chowchilla, and Porterville. Merry Christmas.
Give the gift of good taste. At Harris Ranch Inn and Restaurant, we know that finding the right gift for family, friends, and employees can be time-consuming. We have the perfect solution. For a limited time, with every $100 gift card you purchase, you'll receive a complimentary $20 bonus gift card. We've taken the hassle out of the holidays by making this option available online at harrisranch.com or visit us in person, and one of our helpful team members will be happy to assist you in purchasing the gift card that keeps on giving. Some restrictions apply. Visit harrisranch.com for more details.
So you tested positive for COVID. What's next? Treat yourself. COVID treatments like Paxlovid are free. Taken by pill, these medications can stop the illness from getting serious. So treat yourself. Call a healthcare provider or the statewide COVID hotline at 833-422-4255 to find free treatment today. Again, that's 833-422-4255. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
The world is always on, but you shouldn't be. Put junk sleep to bed. During Mattress Firm's Dream December sale, save up to 60% with Sealy Queen mattresses starting at $279.99. Only at Mattress Firm.
NEM 3.0 is on the horizon, and change is coming. Call Solar Negotiators today to find out how you can lock in your savings under California's current solar policy. Speak with a consultant today to get pre-qualified for a zero-down, low-interest rate loan and go 18 months with no payments. Go solar with confidence through Solar Negotiators, your lifetime energy partner. To learn more about NEM 3.0 or to get a free quote, visit solarnegotiators.com.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like, 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-932-4177. 800-932-4177. 800-932-4177.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
KMJ Fresno.
Everything that happens in Fresno's got to run the gauntlet of KMJ. It is such a blessing for you all to have what you have. It's been 100 years of communicating with your community. There's nothing like that for 1,000 miles.
And so ends our broadcast day.
Rolled up on 6 o'clock on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. Joe Basil, Philip Teresi. You missed any part of the show, get the podcast. Stitch, Twitcher. No, it's Stitcher. What is it? Twitch.tv to stream. Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. Just look for Drive KMJ or search your preferred broadcast provider for Drive KMJ or go to KMJnow.com. We got all of them up there, plus all kinds of good stuff from the rest of the KMJ team. So we got just a minute here before we get out the door. Did you ever do the Uncrustables, the Smucker's Uncrustable, like peanut butter jelly freezer sandwiches?
Literally, my daughter came home from college and requested those. She's 21 and wanted Uncrustables at the house.
Strawberry or grape?
She likes grape.
Okay.
I'm not picky. I like both.
I can do either one. Haven't done them in a while, but that was like, especially when I was still packing a lunch every day, that was absolutely like on the rotation. And And if you're not familiar, it's white bread stamped.
We bought one of those. We have one of those at the house, that sandwich presser. So we didn't have to buy Uncrustables.
Okay, yeah. So it's white bread with Smucker's strawberry jam or grape jelly and and peanut butter pressed into this sandwich that it's just a nice little, single serve peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
And then wrapped individually so you can throw them in your kid's lunch because making a peanut butter and jelly is too time consuming. A prepackaged sandwich startup called Gallant Tiger.
Very elegant.
Being sued by Smucker's because they basically have created a sandwich that is identical to the Uncrustables.
Other than it's vegan is one of their little twists.
Here's the thing. The fact that Smucker's took out a patent on machine-stamped, crustless white bread pocket sandwiches, to me is kind of uncompelling. You didn't invent sandwiches, and certainly turning it into effectively a little pie is not that revolutionary. The reason that I want Smucker's to prevail in this is because the first version of the Gallant Tiger crustless sandwich, blueberry bourbon sage jam and peanut butter. You're commies, and I want to see you run out of business.
I'm the other way. I think Crustables can shove it up their butt. Who cares how people want to press their sandwich? You don't get to control the way we press our sandwiches. If I want to press my freaking blueberry bourbon sage jam and peanut butter, leave me alone.
We got to go. The great one, Mark Levin, is on the way. Before that, we'll hear from the folks at ABC with an update of headlines and our friends at the Valley's Legends and Legacies. Thank you guys for your time, your calls, and your attention. We'll be back for the Friday show, I promise, tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock on News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ.
We'll see you tomorrow.
I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish.
Missed part of the show? Get the Afternoon Drive podcast at KMJNow.com.